Well, hello, everybody out there in the dark, our beautiful people, and our guests, of course. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to wherever you are in the world, and welcome to this 9th Zoom party reunion special with the cast of Starlight Express. We have a very, very special video for you to just remind you just how special this show was to everybody. Hold on tight for the fastest ride in town. Hit it!
It seemed that all the world was at the Apollo Victoria last night. The Queen was there, and she hasn't been to a musical for 17 years. This latest offering from Andrew Lloyd Webber is rather special, though, as the man who wrote the words explained.
Well, everybody in it is a train, but diesel trains are real Hells Angels, tough bikers. Steam trains are beautiful. We all love steam trains, even though they're filthy dirty. I don't know why we love steam trains, because they always wear mucky things to travel on. But somehow they have a heartbeat. You can draw a face on the front of a steam train, which you can't with an ordinary intercity 125. And, well, the key to the whole thing, really, is that steam trains believe.
Did you create the story, which one has to say is rather thin, sentimental?
It's not. It's terribly romantic and beautiful. It's about belief. It's about steam trains believing in the Starlight Express, which is the ultimate train, the beautiful train you never see, but you hear sometimes in the middle of the night, which is not a million miles away from the Force in Star Wars, I suppose, that kind of thing. And it's about the importance of coupling, really.
An added complication for the cast is that they all have to wear roller skates. Greaseball, for instance, is leader of the Diesel gang. More friendly is Rusty, the battered old steam engine. But they're both dying breeds as trains go. The future belongs to Electra, the arrogant AC/DC electric loco.
I am electric, feel my attraction, feel my magnetism, you will agree. I am electric, I have the contact. I am electric, the future is me. Easy, easy, it's okay by me.
In the interval, the audience's reaction was very promising.
It's an amazing musical. I've never seen anything like it.
And I can't think of superlatives to explain it. It's just mind-boggling. Wonderful, wonderful.
It's different, it's fun, it's sort of tubby the odd job engine with an X certificate.
Perhaps that's not quite what the Queen saw in it, but when she met the cast after the show, she'd obviously enjoyed it. And she particularly commented on their spectacular costumes. But the show's composer was still uncertain.
I think for a preview and for a charity preview, which is normally the night that you cancel because charity audiences have paid so much money that they always get so worried about things, it was sensational, but I don't trust anything until we actually open in front of the press.
What everyone in the audience was discussing in the interval was how can you sing, dance, and roller skate?
Well, it's easier to sing because I've been doing it all my life and went to school to learn how to act. And I had teachers who teach me how to roller skate, and I had to learn again when we got to the set. But it's amazing. It's more interesting to glide into your spot, you know, as opposed to walking.
When the last member of the audience had glided out, the cast made their final exit to the traditional party. And there was a lot to celebrate apart from a glittering show. It was Andrew Lloyd Webber's 36th birthday. And to top it all, he'd just announced that he'd married his girlfriend, hot gossip girl Sarah Brightman.
John Clay has asked me to get the ball rolling by asking each of you to introduce yourselves and just let us know where you're calling from and what role you played, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. We'll just have an open floor. We're not going to do questions.
Before we start, What's your name? Sorry.
I'm so sorry. My name is John Rinaldi. And
okay.
That's a really good point. We can introduce ourselves. I'm John Rinaldi. I'm one of the admins of Theatre Talk UK.
Okay.
But John Clay is our queen.
Okay.
Jackie Craig is the queen mother, and Jackie Craig is also our historian. She's found so much great.
Oh, fantastic.
Stuff. So this is.
So are you the master of ceremonies tonight?
I am. I'm sort of, I was saying I'm sort of a flight attendant. You know, I'm just here to make sure that the plane flies and nobody gets too rowdy. We don't have to land at Stansted and, you know.
He's the conductor on this train track.
Okay, fantastic. I can relate.
Oh, I'm just going to go in like random screen order. I see Ray is the first person that I see next to John Clay. So how about if Mr. Rusty can introduce himself?
Well, I'm Rachel. I'm about 100,000 years old now. It's weird. I wasn't going to even audition for Starlight Express because I couldn't roller skate and I wasn't very young even then. But I'm glad I did. And I'm here in London. No, I'm in Brighton because my children here are here, and I came to move my daughter. And I just happened to my agent found that I was here, and work and stuff started coming in. So I'm in rehearsal for a show called Passion at the moment with Ruthie Henshaw. And
oh, with Ruthie.
Yeah. And I got
tell her I said hi.
I will. I put it inside the chat. The main thing I'm doing is I got a publishing company that I want you to all buy books from, but I'll put that in there. But glad to see everybody. This is who knew that on that night that all these years later that there'd be a production in Bochum that they sent me home from.
I know.
I'll tell you later. I'll tell you about that later. Yes, my ass got sent home from Bochum. Seriously. Now, because I mean, I told them to let me join skating school with everybody. And they said, oh, no, you don't need to do that because I said, look, I never could do it. So please let me go to, and they wouldn't hear it. So I had to go to skating school by myself with Adam. Remember Adam, little Adam? Adam, what's Adam's last name? Adam, I used to call him Little Skeet. He was my coach, and he would sit there like at 10 o'clock in the morning like this.
Adam Floyd. Was it Adam Floyd?
Yeah, because the set in Bochum is bigger than the set in London. I mean, it was lethal. You were there, weren't you? Koffi, you did it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Bochum.
It was it's a tough set.
It's a monster.
Oh my God.
It's a monster.
Who was it?
Absolutely.
So I kept saying, no, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. And they wanted me to go back and rehearsal and learn the mega mix. I said, well, look, can't I just stand in one of those tunnels and hang there doing that whole thing? But just glad to see all of you, and we'll talk later on.
Oh.
And we are looking forward to hearing all of this good stuff. And now, next person on my magic mirror here, my magic screen is Drue. Hi, Drue.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Greetings from the Netherlands.
Yes, I'm in Las Vegas. Have been for 15 years now. So
welcome.
Yeah, but I'm done with it now. It's time to move to another country. So, but all good.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going to live. Not yet. I'm decided. But I did a show on the Strip here for like 12 years. You know, because once you know me, once I get in a show, I just stay in it. Resume was not my big deal. Earning money was. Bit of a whore for that one. So yeah, it's been good here. It's like the weather's gorgeous. Always sunny, but the summers are brutal. Yeah, Starlight was, I mean, before I joined Starlight, I was a builder. So I was just really lucky that I was a skater. It was just a completely different ball game for me. But to go from working, I mean, don't get me wrong, Starlight is hard work, but it's not like getting up at 7 in the morning, going in the rain and, yeah, let's build this house. This is great. It's like, no, skate around a bit. I was already a skater. So for me, I was like, this is fantastic.
So did you just skate as a hobby then, Drue, or did you play hockey or something like that?
No, I played roller hockey for South England, and before that I was a skateboarder. I still am, actually, believe it or not. 60 years old, still on a skateboard. But this one's electric. I don't have no effort involved.
You cheat.
The damn thing goes 30 miles an hour. I mean, if I come off, I can't run that fast, but I still do it. Yeah. I always loved being on wheels. So for me, it was a little. I was just, it was the luckiest builder in town. I mean, the fact that I was in the right place, I happened to be a good skater, and a show came up on wheels. It was, and I'd stayed in it for years on and off. You know, you know that, crying out loud. But no, it was the best. It's been nothing but kind to me. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't imagine getting like, especially the German set. I'd be like, no, you know, it's just monstrous going up that. Oh, let's do race 4, up and down 2 times and stuff in a 50-pound costume, pulling some fat bin who's not even going to skate behind you. No, not doing that. Yeah. But anyway, so that's me.
There you go.
Welcome. Oh my God, I can't wait to hear everything you all have to say. And here next in line is we have Beryl, who was, as I understand it, you worked with Lon, right, Beryl?
Yes, I actually didn't join until 1988. But yeah, I had one night or one afternoon where I just watched the matinee, and I was shown a picture, and then I just was thrown into doing his makeup and everything in the evening, basically. And we developed a fantastic relationship over 6 years, like he was my father/grandfather. And we kind of knew what each other was going to say before we said it. So I miss him dearly. Yes, I miss him dearly, and I use expressions all the time. So, and I think he's probably watching Manchester United with me and probably crying right now.
Yeah, they kind of suck at the moment.
Thank you, Drue. I have a few stories about you too.
Oh, excellent. We're waiting for all the speed.
It's getting real. Oh, it's getting real.
It is. We promise Starlight Express realness here at all times. And now let's move on to Koffi. Welcome, sir. It's so good to have you.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm amazed that Starlight is still going. Doesn't really surprise me, not with all the updates and stuff. They always manage to keep it up to date. But the original story of Starlight was just so captivating. When I first heard about Starlight, it's through an ex-girlfriend of mine. She said, "Oh, there's a show coming into town. It's going to be on skates. That'll be perfect for you." Because I was a street skater. And so that would have been no problem for me. But I thought, I don't know, theater is not really my world, because I did like TV shows, I was recording, I had singles out, and that was my world. But the idea of doing something on skates, I thought, I don't know. And then I heard Eileen Phillips was involved, and of course, Hot Gossip. I mean, I grew up with Hot Gossip, and they were so fantastic and amazing. I mean, they were, you know, trailblazers for their time. They were in the Kenny Everett show. I don't know if you remember that show, but absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So of course, I was like, oh my God, well, so amazing people. And then of course, Jeffrey Daniels, it was like, you know, Shalimar, it was blowing my mind, you know, it was like, wow, this is just so amazing to be a part of. And it just kind of like rocked my world, I have to say. And it was so much fun. It was hard work, but it really was a lot of fun. And to meet all these theatre people that I had nothing to do with before just opened my mind. And speaking of Lon Satin, oh my goodness gracious me, what a guy, just a force. And when I took over the role of Rusty, Ray, you know what it was like to play with him. It was just so amazing. His power, when he says, you know, you have the power, and he grabs your hands, and that electricity goes through your body.
Yeah, he grabs your hand and tries to pull you off your friggin' skates.
Well,
let's get real with him. Mr. Satin.
Just believe in yourself, the sea will part before you. Stop the rain, turn the tide. If only you use the power within you. Need and beg the world to turn around and help you. If you draw on what you have within you, somewhere deep inside, Starlight Express, here's your distress. He's there all around. Starlight Express will answer you yes. He's waiting to be found. Don't be so blind. Look in your mind. He's there all around. You know the Starlight Express is no more nor less than you, brother, sister. He is you. He's you and only you have the power within you. Just believe in yourself, the sea will part before you. Stop the rain, turn the tide. If only you the power within you. Need and beg the world to turn around and help you. If you draw what is deep
It was just amazing. And of course we had like P.P. Arnold as well, the sleeping car. I mean, she was, wow. You know, Stephanie Lawrence, all these amazing people, Rachel, and then we had Jeff Shankly, all these amazing people, you know, that you're working with, you know, that were like major stars, and you never stop learning in this business, you know, and that's what keeps it young, keeps me young. It's one little bit secret.
we did hear from Jeff. He said to send his love and said say hi to you all. He's over in Sri Lanka at the moment visiting family, so he's not back in the UK until next month, unfortunately, and he's got very unsteady Wi-Fi, he said, but he said to send his love to everybody and say hi to you all. So
that's lovely.
I'm sorry,
I'm
who was
passing
that?
the message on there. That was Jeff Shankly.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
yeah,
we tried to get him.
Yeah, we're hoping we can nab him. He would have done it if his internet was decent, but I guess in Sri Lanka, wherever he is, it's just not safe. But we appreciated hearing from him anyway. He was very excited to hear what we were doing. And moving on to my very first pearl in the whole world, Nancy Wood, please introduce yourself.
Oh my goodness! Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Nancy, baby. After so long, oh my goodness, fantastic! You look great. Look at you.
Thank you. So do you.
Wow.
My goodness gracious. Thank you for this is such a lovely reunion. It's so lovely, and thank you so much for. Yeah, it makes me teary-eyed. It's true. So I heard about from my agent, and I was in the original workshop. I'm not sure who else was in there. I think Francis and Ray. I'm not really sure. Yeah. And Drue was in there too.
Yeah.
Okay. I was training at 5 years old to be in the roller skating Olympics, believe it or not. So I had a roller skating, and I gave it up at 9 because I didn't want to like compete with little Johnny. He always beat me. So I gave up my roller skating career at 9 years old. But But anyway, I love to skate. This opportunity came up, and I remember, I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but I was able to do a little bit of adagio with, I forget who the coach was, I forget his name, but Mark or somebody, I can't remember.
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis.
Yeah, it would have been Mark Davis.
No, Mark Davis was not the coach. No, there was a coach that we had.
Oh, the other guy. I remember. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
And
Yeah.
we used to-
Yeah.
So I practiced doing like adagio with him, and so I was like, oh my God, back when my body could bend, you know? So anyhow, we did the workshop, which I'm sure we'll talk about. And then I had to audition again because my original character was Baedeker. That was the name of my character. I don't know if anyone remembers. I had to do like an adagio and sing an aria. It was insane. So that got cut, and then I had to audition again for the show. And so then I was casted as Buffy, and I understudied like everybody. So and it was a control voice, and I understudied Elektra. I actually had a costume for that. I don't know if you remember. I went on for 2 weeks. I went.
Brilliant.
I obviously understudied Pearl, and I did more second acts than I did first. And then I remember one time I did Belle one night. Everybody was off. We had so many injuries, and it was a 15-minute call. And they said, "We have nobody." I said, "I'll do it." And it was fun. Do you remember that? I mean, it was insane experience, but I didn't have a moment to be nervous at all. And it was great because the Rockies would just wheel me into place, and it was fantastic, you know. So that was a one-off experience, memorable. But anyway, it was definitely, and I was the control voice too. So I beat out Richard Stilgo. So for 8 years at least, I was the voice. So I feel like I've been it from the conception of this entire show. So anyway, it's very, very close to my heart. So anyway, that's it. I'm here in the States.
Nancy, does anybody remember why we put those nets up in front of the stage?
Yeah, I do.
Mark Davis. Who fell down there?
Because Nancy came flying up the stage and into the audience.
Into Trevor Nunn's arms. Let me. That's a memory I can't forget. And you know what happened was it was the first time you looked at I mean, I guess we're just getting into this, but it was the first time you went into to look at the set, and we were all like, oh my gosh. I think people started crying because it was so intimidating. I don't know if you remember, they were like, I can't go on there. And I knew when we went down into the bowl, and Ray, you were leading, obviously, and I was the last. And where I was, I just felt it that I whipped, and I whipped right. I slid right off into the orchestra pit, and there were these railings going down, and really bruised myself terribly. And I right into Trevor Nunn's arms, and I said, I'm not going on that stage until they do something. And I was probably one of the more of the women. I was probably one of the more experienced skaters too.
Right.
And that's how they put that trapeze up. Thank the Lord for that. So
it's funny you should say that, because I remember the bowl experience. Now, I'd ridden many a bowl in my time, but never in conjunction with other people, like with 5 people hanging on as one of the components, as with all the components and stuff. So we'd ride this bowl, and people would be crashing down one after the other behind me. Luckily, I was able to avoid them all, but people were going down all the time. And it was like, are we ever going to be able to do this show like this? Are we ever going to be able to ride that bowl safely without going down and sliding off? It's like you say, Nancy, it was very intimidating because you didn't know. If somebody fell in front of you and you weren't aware and you didn't see it in time, you would crash into them. I've seen so many broken bones, and I split open my elbow. I had to be wheeled off into hospital and get that sewn up. Loads of those kind of accidents in the early days, twisted ankles all the time. It was a dangerous show. It was very, very dangerous, but you know what? It was really exciting too. Loved it. Loved it.
Like that's what kills me is, sitting there as a teenager watching that show in '84, and y'all just made it look so simple. It was like, oh, anybody could just hop up there, and they're all so graceful, and like I never saw anybody fall. It was like magic. It was like I never never was worried about you guys, right? Like, all knew what you were doing. It was really magic.
Yeah.
I want to hear more about that once we get our intros finished. But for now,
I was just going to say, I really relate to Nancy. I've told you this story before, John. In my younger,
yes,
slimmer days when I used to be a little twirly myself, and I thought, oh, I'm going to get in Starlight. I'm going to get in Starlight, and I did, I'd auditioned for Bochum, which was one story, and eventually my agent got me an audition for Starlight in London, and I did exactly the same as what you did, Nancy. Thought I was, being all clever, and took the corner on stage at the wrong speed, and just went bam over the edge into the nets. All of a tangle. Like, oh yeah. You just think it's the easiest. You think it's the easiest thing. You think you can skate. Oh, I can skate. I can turn. I can do. I can go backwards. I can do. I'll be fine. No. Hit the lip of the stage, boom.
I
nose dive straight into the net.
Thinking of you, John. I cannot. It's the first thing in my mind every time, because it's the tangle. It's not so much the falling off, it's the tangle.
It's the help. It was just like an upside down fly, and you can't get out of that. You need not on your own. You just, I never got that job, and I had no business auditioning for that show. No business.
It's not the ideal audition. It's really, oh my God. Oh, tip of the iceberg. So moving on, we have a twofer. We have a twofer in our midst. We have Bill and Barb McGillivray. Hi, you guys. Can you unmute yourselves?
Hiya.
And hello. And you guys were in the booth, right?
Right. Yeah.
Tell us about you.
Hi guys.
You are.
Well,
they saved us on many occasions.
Hello, Carole. No, Carole used to visit us every night without fail, didn't you? No, it was a weird thing to do. We actually got the first call 2 weeks before the show opened because of the physical difficulties. Obviously, all the cast were under. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And Lloyd Webber wanted a bit more boost for the vocal sound and a few special effects. So we had to put a team together in that 2 weeks, and it was the most amazing job because it was, we were last in, first out. We didn't have any costumes. Nobody knew we were there.
I always remember the first time we met the cast, because I think it was a vocal rehearsal, and all you guys knew each other. You've been working together for weeks. And we walked in, and they're all looking at us saying, "Who the hell are these guys?
These old guys.
What are they going to do?"
Well, I have to say we had a wonderful 18 years. We saw it right through because it was the best job ever.
Yeah. Oh wow!
Two of our numbers died during the run.
You guys are amazing.
Those of us that have
my
God, we're all in touch still. We do meet up.
So yeah. The booth is still intact.
We are family.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Well, after that amount of time, I should imagine you are fantastic. Wow, amazing.
Bonds for life. Yeah, pit singing is a great gig. It's the best. I've done it for Chorus Line a few times, and same thing. You slip in, you slip out, you get your money. It's like fabulous. Like, do this forever. And so we're so glad you guys are here. We're so glad you guys could join us. And we have another fabulous booth personality, Mary Carewe, whose name I also believe I recognized from some recordings. Hello, Mary.
Hi.
Yourself.
Mary, I love you.
I love you too, Koffi. I've still got cassette recordings, I would think, of stuff of the stuff we used to write with Gaffer and everything.
Yeah, right.
And
fantastic.
I was very lucky that Bill and Barbie invited me to come along and join the booth at the very beginning. So it was an amazing. I had my 21st birthday in the booth. I wasn't the youngest. I was so young, but
wow,
it was an amazing experience. And I was. It was just a fantastic job to do. Went right the way. I mean, I left. Gosh, I'm not sure what year I left, but I had 2 kids by the time I left So,
yeah, you created
I left when they were about 7. I think I left when, because I lived in Streatham. Back then, believe it or not, you could leave home at 7:15, get in, park the car, and be ready to sing for 7:45. When in fact the girls didn't have to sing till what did we sing? Locomotion. That was the first thing we had to sing. So as long as we got in there for that, as long as Phil didn't know we were coming late, Phil, then we were all right, you know. So we'd have Phil or whoever, David Caddick, or up on the screens in front of us, didn't we? They very quickly realised they better have a switch so we could turn our own microphone on and off. Otherwise, there was raucous laughter and giggling going on most of the evening. So we had to switch our own mic. So we'd be playing cards, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Playing cards.
As you do.
Getting away. Derek Chessel would probably be telling some really dreadful, outrageous story. And then we'd be going, la, 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 and then suddenly, keep it going all night, or whatever it was, you know, press the button on and we're off again. So yeah, so it was great fun, and it was wonderful. Got me a mortgage.
What
was the name of the lady that did the knitting?
Knitting, was that BJ?
I think it might have been BJ,
Yeah,
Derek used to do the tapestry, wasn't it?
Tapestry was the first thing we used to do. I've still got that upstairs in one of our bedrooms downstairs, my huge tapestry. I did the same one as Anna Devere. We both did the same one. But it was mostly nasty card games and outrageous gossip.
Oh,
that was great.
That sounds amazing. I would love that. And our next introducee, our next person we'd like to go down the line to is our one and only Frances Ruffelle. We didn't mean to do you on your own.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, Frances.
So I'm in New York most of the time these days. If you want to go back to when I first got Starlight, I auditioned for the workshop when I was 17, and I had a really, really sore throat, and I sounded like Elkie Brooks, and they thought, wow, perfect, we want an Elkie Brooks type for this country and western song. Of course, when I actually got it, they realized my voice is a bit more shrill than...
One minute, my earphones just fallen out. Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So anyway, so apart from that, you know, the vocal quality is what they thought they wanted. I also lied to Andrew Lloyd Webber and said I could roller skate, I could tap dance on roller skate. And so he ran out of the room after my audition and came and found me in the cafe and said, "Is it true? Can you really tap dance on roller skates?" And I said, "Sure, if you tighten the wheels up, I could." I got the job no matter that I was the worst skater in the whole thing, apart from Ray. Sorry, Ray. Yeah,
Awesome.
I remember the booth singers as well. That was so funny. Do you remember the day when Andrew had a birthday or a celebration, and he brought in champagne, and he brought the champagne in? It was in between shows. We had a matinee, and we all drank champagne in between. And I know at 18, when I was at that age, I didn't really know much about drinking too much champagne, and I don't think anyone else did either, because we got to locomotion and one by one each one of us fell over. Started giggling, and then the booth singers were still doing it, you know.
We just kept going.
Oh,
well, I got Frankie. I got to tell everybody. I don't know if anybody knows this, but me and Frankie both are Virgos, and Trevor, none of them had told us not to go see the theater. And I didn't tell Frances, but we both ended up in the theater at the same time. So Frances went on that. Remember the gradient on stage, right where the bowl, where you come from the tunnel into the bowl. Frances goes up to that thing, does a flip, falls on her back, wins herself, and I'm like, "Frances, get up, get up!" and Frances could. I thought she was gonna die.
I was crying for my mum, wasn't I? I was like, Mum! And then it was the person next to me ended up being Trevor Nunn. It was the most embarrassing thing. I still get upset thinking about it.
It's all part of history now. And we're so happy you are here. We can't wait to hear everything you have to tell us. Just a couple more intros. Beautiful Carole Amphlett, I know you're out there.
Yes.
Yay, Carole. Yay.
Hello, everyone. It's lovely to see you all. Crazy, crazy.
You, Carole.
Oh, thank you. And you. It's lovely to see you. Yeah, you, Koffi, you look just like
Hello,
Peter
gorgeous.
Pan. You're just like Peter Pan.
You're looking gorgeous. I love the hairstyle.
Oh, darling, it's a wig. No. Oh, my Starlight journey. My goodness me. I've been working with Dougie Squires, who's actually doing all the Queen stuff at the moment, the whole show and what have you. He's my patron now. And I was up for a show called On Your Toes, because I tap. Not bad if I was up on your toes. I think I was on about my 5th recall, so I'm thinking, I'm in here. And I never, ever auditioned for Starlight simply because I was in the running for On Your Toes. And in the stage, it said free skating lessons. And I could skate anyway because my parents were skaters. My dad was a speed skater. And they said, go, you know, it'd be great. So off I went to Pineapple West. And I was skating around very, very cocky. And these guys were falling over. And I'm thinking, what am I doing here? And then this guy trundles over, and his name was Andrew Tragus.
Yes.
He was the production manager on Your Toes and for Starlight. And he said, oh, we'd like you to audition for Starlight, Carole. I said, oh, well, I'm up for it. No. He said, you will audition for Starlight in the morning. What about on your, no, you're going to audition for Starlight. So I trundled over to Willesden or wherever it was. And I auditioned at 10 with Arlene and Trevor, David Caddick and the Lord himself. And I auditioned at 10 and I was at work at 11. And I was like, oh, crikey, now what do I do? But the very next day we were in the theatre. And I think Koffi will, everyone will attest, we walked to the back, at the back of the stalls, and everybody just stood in disbelief and in absolute horror. And I'm thinking, I auditioned at 10, I was at work at 11, and now I'm here and I'm stuck. What do I do? What do I do? But I was very privileged because by the time 11 o'clock came, they'd given me my role as Wrench, and they'd given me Fran's understudy, which was fabulous. And the sad thing was, the very first day that Fran was off, we got to the second half, oil was dripping down onto the
yeah, I remember that
at the back, and the show stopped. I was like, yeah. I never actually got to sing Uncoupled on my first outing, but yeah, that and wheels falling off in races, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
finishing a race on 3 wheels. But, yeah,
wow.
So I was very had a lot of fun, but yeah, auditioned at 10 and was at work at 11.
That's what they did back then, right? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was very privileged.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we're so happy you're here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. And our very last intro, unless there's somebody I've missed, so after this, let me know if I missed you, but we have someone from down below in the orchestra pit from the place that Nancy and John plunged into. We have a gentleman named Phil Edwards, right?
Hey, Phil.
Where is he?
Lovely to be here.
That's not Phil.
There he is.
There you go.
Hello, Phil.
Big man.
So lovely to see you.
It's so
Oh
great.
my goodness. It's been ages.
It's so great to see everybody. It really is. I've managed to stay in touch with quite a few people over the years. Stay in touch with Dion McHugh. I don't know if you remember him.
Dion, right.
Dion.
Yeah.
And I see quite a lot of Mark Davis as well. So I work.
All right,
Oh, wow. Wow.
Davis.
Yeah, he's doing really well. I saw him some time ago.
Yeah.
Mark and Kim.
Been working with
That's
them
right, yeah.
as well. So yeah, it's been really good. I've seen Drue occasionally out in Vegas as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I must come out and visit you before you leave. Drue.
I think
get a bit for the heat.
About every production of Starlight except for Broadway. I think I was on every other one there was in the world, actually. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's been quite an adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beginning was amazing. I actually started life in the West End as a adept in orchestra shows when I was about 17 years old, and sort of went round. And I thought, well, I can't spend the rest of my life in orchestra pits. I've got to do something else. So I joined the Royal Marines.
Wow.
Obvious step.
Not in the band. I was actually
majorette.
And I was actually on the bottom field there, where the
at Limpston.
Yeah, Limpston. Yeah, where the bottom field at Limpston, where the assault courses, and I'd just been through a day of that, and I was on the potential officers course at the time, and I went back to the centre where the sort of canteen was. And I phoned my mother and she said, oh, someone called David Caddick has been on the phone, wants to know if you want to be assistant musical director of a show called Starlight Express. I thought, oh, I've heard of that. I thought, Royal Marine Starlight Express. And the very next morning, I was in that front of house bar where we used to rehearse. And we were doing right place, right time. And I was playing the piano with my hair even shorter than it is now. And straight from the bottom field in Limpston. And there I was. Yeah. So, yeah, fantastic journey. And then I did nearly all of Germany, which is, of course, still running, although it's changed quite a bit. But I did 30, can't believe it, I'm saying it, 30 years of that before I left. I was there all the time. I was just sort of in and out. But yeah, and I think my favourite experience of Starlight, apart from the opening times in London, was Las Vegas, because that was just so weird. So,
yeah.
A show, an Andrew Lloyd Webber show, an unusual show like Las Vegas, like Starlight Express in the middle of Las Vegas, with all that strange madness and gambling going on. But it's been great. There were some great players in the band when we first started. March 27th, 1984, I remember opening night. And we had people like Pete Van Hook, the drummer, who went on to Mike and the Mechanics. A couple of them sadly passed away, but yeah, I still see quite a few of them. And yeah, we had some very happy times, and there was some madness that went on down there because we were all closed in. Because it used to be that they had these kind of portholes in the pit, and you could actually see in from the stalls, but we used to get people looking at us like we were in.
Wow.
Pointed.
Like, what are they doing? Yeah, and so they covered those up, and that, of course, gave us license to do more or less anything we wanted to do. And I do remember I tied a piece of string to Pete Van Hook's drum kit one night, and every time he came to do a fill at the end of a phrase, I would pull it slightly towards me so that he'd miss it. And he got so fed up with that he had some groceries with him, and he had a box of Frosties, and I'm playing away on the keyboard at the time. Actually, I wasn't conducting, and So I'm playing around the keyboard and he emptied an entire packet of Frosties. It's amazing when you can't see where the notes are. Even though you don't look at your hands, when you can't see, even in your peripheral vision, if you can't see where the notes are, I just had to hold up my hands and say, "Can't do this," until I've cleared my Frosties off. Yeah, so yeah.
I always loved when Phil Edwards was our conductor, because Phil would be dancing.
Yes.
Like David would stand there and like, I love David, but Phil would just be bopping around with us. It was like, gave you something to look at.
Yeah, I couldn't stop myself. Yeah, and I went on to do Saturday Night Fever later on in my career, and I used to do the same there. That was a slightly different sort of dancing, but I always, at the end of every show, my last pose would be that.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yes, happy days. Yeah, it's lovely to see you all. Really.
Well, we thank you for being here. We're so excited that we have...
Limpston, because my son's a bandy.
Neat. What does your son play?
He's a bugler drummer. He's one of the flash people on the old snare.
Very cool.
Oh, really? Oh, great. Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Bizarre.
Are they still at Deal? Are they still based at Deal?
No, the Royal Marine School of Music's in Portsmouth.
I was moved as right. Yeah. Okay.
Off piece. Sorry.
Well,
so, go on, John. Sorry.
We're so excited because we have everybody from all over, right? We have people from stage, we have people from the pit, we have people from the booth. So we really have a feeling of the whole of the show. So it's great having everybody here. There is a possibility. It was only a possibility. There is a possibility that Arlene might pop in for a second. I heard from her assistant, and of course she's super busy right now with the Share Show and hasn't had a day off in forever, but I'm keeping my eye on the waiting room. So if she does pop in, I'm gonna stop whoever's talking and let her in for a minute so we can say hi, but we'll see. If not, we'll hope she'll join us. We'll hope she joins us another time. But now the floor is yours. We want to hear your stories. So we want to hear audition stories if we haven't heard that. We want to hear performance stories, mishaps, and we really want to hear about you guys covering each other, because so many of you played so many different parts. That's fascinating. So whoever would like to jump in, we are all ears for you.
Well, I was just going to suggest maybe we start at the workshop, but
I was going to say that too.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
For those of you that were involved in the workshop, how the show was developing there compared to the big leap from rehearsal room to on stage for your first night preview kind of thing. So Nancy, do you want to start there, or Ray, or maybe I don't know who.
Go on, Nancy.
I'm trying to remember. I just remember I don't know where we were, but we were in some big ballroom.
We were downstairs. We were in
off Leicester Square.
Room down Leicester Square.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Notre Dame Hall, wasn't it?
Right next door to Equity. Right next door to Equity.
Oh my goodness gracious, you've got a better memory than me. I was getting mixed up with when we were in rehearsal, and I remember they would have food. There's some guy would come in with like curried goat. Do you
Caribbean
remember that?
place, the Caribbean
Kensal Rise. Kensal Rise.
That was hilarious. But anyway, I don't know. I just remember, like I was mentioning, I remember Tracy Ullman was our pro.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Tracy Ullman, that's right.
She was so sweet.
That's right.
She thought, I'm not going to kill my body, I guess. I don't know, but she was very kind and sweet and very nice. And I don't know, it's kind of a blur, except all I remember is doing, for me personally, doing this character Baedeker, and it's supposed to be the double-decker train, and then I was supposed to hook up with the Italian train, and I had glasses on, and then he would take the glasses off and go, "You are beautiful," and then we would sing this aria, and it was insane. I think that got cut, thank God.
I was gonna say, weren't you all singing in the races as well as from the clips I remember seeing of it?
Well, I think that during I don't even remember during the workshop, but I know especially during during our real rehearsal, which was like 10 weeks, I think, that we did trains every single day. I mean, everybody can jump in on this, that we had to, we did exercises with the skates on. We did roller skating class. We had to sing. Do you all remember that? We just like the whole first half of the day was just training. I just remember that, building up our stamina. But that's all I really remember from the first workshop. I don't remember as much. Ray, do you remember more? Or,
yeah, I mean, like, because I was teaching at Pineapple, and I wanted to be in an Andrew Lloyd Webber show. I turned down an EMI record deal to be in an Andrew Lloyd Webber show. I did it exactly backward. I was so stupid. I didn't mean it like that, but I was stupid. If I would have done the EMI records and got the name and all that kind of stuff, I could have made as much money. What's his name? Jason Donovan did, but I didn't do that. Anyway, there was a poster outside the door that said, wanted very young people for Starlight Express. Andrew Lloyd Webber's next music. I was saying, like, damn, can't this man write something we could just stand and sing it instead of, being Cats or anything like that? So I went, and I wasn't going to go to the audition. I wasn't, because I said, well, I'm not very young and I can't roller skate. So one of my students went and said, Mr. Shell, you're always telling us to go. Why don't you go? So I didn't tell the kids I was going, because I figured if I didn't get the part, they wouldn't want me to teach them. Why would you have a teacher who can't get a show? So I had these skates from this EMI promotion that we did. I remember I went down there and I couldn't stop. All I knew how to do was to keep skating around and around. So I went around Trevor, and Trevor said, ooh, theatering around. I was like, yeah. So at the end of it, I had 4 auditions. And at the end of the last audition, Trevor Nunn and Andrew Lloyd Webber came up to put their arms around me. And I said, damn, they're going to tell me no nicely. And they told me they wanted me to play the lead. And I was like, fuck. So I went home and told my wife. And it was a whole new life. I remember this. Tracy Ullman would stand, like she'd stand right next to Trevor. And now Trevor would always do the what you wanted him to do. He'd do it with you. So Tracy would stand right next to him, imitating him. And I'm trying to keep a straight face, trying to do Be a Pump. Remember Be a Pump, the song they cut, that whole,
Yeah. I sent you the music.
Yeah. I mean,
I still
trying to
got
be
it.
serious. And like, Trevor, I mean, she told me then that she wasn't going to do it because she had gotten that television show in America. And Zane Griff, who was the first Electra, remember Zane?
Electra, yeah.
And then they also had remember, Drew, they had skateboards. What was the brother's name? Simon. Yeah.
Little Simon, who walks with his same arm and leg.
Yeah.
Just couldn't walk. And they said, no, not the same arm, same leg. And we're marching around as trains, and he's doing this. I'm like, that's hard.
But what was so interesting is by the end of that first performance that we did, we knew we had something really, really special even back then in that rehearsal room. Just because they invited an audience and stuff like that. And Michael Brown was the first.
Michael Brown and
Michael Brown.
What's her daughter's name?
Sunita.
Yeah, she used to come as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a trip. It really, I remember Francis and Chrissy Wickham. We would sit there and like, crying in tears. And like, I remember Danny and them, the Rockies, we say, please don't do that. Please don't do it. Because we knew if they could do it, Ollie would make us all do it. Please, like, give me $10. Don't do it. It was that kind of thing. It was really, it was intense. It was, in fact, after I did it, I went on tour with the Police, and so Lloyd Webber says to me, do you really want to be go on tour with a pop band? I said, yeah. But the workshop was, I mean, it really showed us that, that there was something special there. And I think what I loved about our production that I hear the New York production didn't have was the spirituality that was part of what we did.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of, go ahead, Carole.
No, I was like, I agree with you. The story was definitely at the front. That was the main aspect of the show in London, the original show, and spirituality of it definitely came across. And I think it was, I think it touched people in a whole different way, which people didn't expect. When they hear the name Starlight Express, it's going to be on skates. It's going to be kind of very flat. story-wise, but actually the story's really deep. And I think Andrew Lloyd Webber did an amazing job getting that message across. This little boy playing with his trains and these different characters that are interacting and overcoming your fears and your doubts. Wow. In a kind of very innocent way, but it was just so powerful, and that will stay with me forever. It's just such a magical experience.
I think the thing that freaked me out most was the fact that we spent, what was it, 6 weeks on a flat?
Yeah, 6.
And then we had to go in the theater and learn the show all over again.
Right.
With
Right.
all of
And it
those.
wasn't finished when we went in. Do you remember?
Yeah, it
They were
wasn't.
still
Yeah.
hammering, and there was sawdust everywhere, and people slipping and sliding. It was kind of, and didn't he have like one of those masks that, you know, we had?
Yeah,
one of
he
those
did.
masks?
Yeah.
No, we all did. I
Yes.
remember Ray
Yeah.
said, Ray and PPR said, I'm not ruining my voice. And we all were singing with these masks on. And
Yeah.
we had all the dust from tearing out 1,000 seats or something in the
Yeah.
theater. I remember that. And it was hysterical. Like, it was a pre-pandemic look.
Yes.
Like no idea what would be happening in just a few short years. So it looks like Mary has to go, but Mary, before you go, is there anything you'd like to share with us?
Oh, hang on. I don't know. We just had so many mad times, and I don't. It does also feel. We tried to remember some stories the other day. Derek Chessor, who was memorable. I don't know. Most of you in the cast will probably remember the Scottish Mad.
I love that.
And the recent series, It's a Sin, he was kind of one of the, you know, the lead character was a kind of combination of various people, but Derek was one of those people. So we were trying to remember stories, because after It's a Sin was I don't know, actually, I'm not sure everybody here will know, but it was a great series last year.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Amazing show.
Yeah. And Derek, sadly, we lost Derek because of AIDS back in, gosh, it was quite early, really. But we were trying to remember stories about Starlight, and specifically what Derek was doing, because Derek really was, whilst we were in those early few years, it felt, I don't know what you think, Barbie and Bill, but it did feel awful lot like the booth revolved. Oh, where are they? Did feel an awful lot like the booth revolved around Derek, because he was such a huge personality. And so we got all these fantastic stories. I'm trying to remember them all, but I mean, it really, it's the people. For us, it was the booth. I mean, Carole used to be in all the time, and I think you taught me to try to teach me to skate up on the roof.
On the roof.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to love it up there.
On the roof. We used to go and sunbathe on the roof between shows, or we'd be in St James's Park between shows, skating in St James's Park. We got thrown out of St James's Park on many occasions.
I remember the roof. Were we allowed up there? We used to go up there anyway. And I think we used to work on new dance routines and all sorts of stuff. Oh, right, okay.
So, John, what's next? We've covered a little bit of the workshop. We've covered some of auditions. What should be our next bit? We could see some photos.
Oh yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
I'll tell you what I can give you for the workshop. Just the last thing on the workshop, they had me playing a couple of trains, and one of them was the Japanese train.
Yeah, Hashimoto.
Yeah, and this is back. Right, and the lyrics to the song, Hashimoto Rittle Burrit train, need no coach or rocked. We make famous twain again, like the frying, Scott frying. I choose mailman, bound to know the way. Vital that I win. I ruse race, I ruse face, have to do self in. But on top of that, they put me
oh my goodness.
Yeah, not racist at all. Then they gave me false teeth to stick out.
Oh, geez.
Glasses and a camera. So during the race, we'd stop as a Japanese tourist and I'd take photos of people.
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I remember that now.
This is really painful.
Hashimoto with the bullet train. It's like, my God.
And didn't you and Drue, didn't you have to commit harikari when you lost?
Have to do self in, bang, yeah.
I can't believe you remember all that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Oh no, absolutely. I think I actually still have the sheet music of this ridiculous. I was like, even then, I'd never sang before. I was so embarrassed. And then they put the teeth in, and I'm standing, and they had me in a black crop top wig. That every time I took the helmet off, the wig came off. So then they put me in this do-rag thing, and then they had these square glasses, and I was like.
Oh my God! What's that? Yeah.
But it's very realistic.
Speaking of wigs, we must talk about our past friend, beloved Hugo, Byron Wiggins.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, right.
Hugo.
That was a colourful chap.
He was very colourful.
He was. I used to make him chili all the time.
Yeah.
I was actually scared of him.
Oh, he was. Oh.
When he walked towards me, and he kind of like stare right through you, and he had high heels on and the tightest trousers you've ever seen.
And he was
in
tall,
your
like,
life. Pointed right up.
and a fur bunny jacket and a dodgy haircut.
He used to chew garlic.
He always used to call me an effing tart every time he saw me.
Write you down. Write you down, love.
But then he'd leave me the most sincerest, beautiful postcards on the board of the stage door. And he wrote a book of poems that I have. And he sent them to my daughters when they were born. It was beautiful.
Well, speaking of roses, I gotta speak about my little lady here, Jackie. Jackie was waiting at the stage door with roses for Stephanie Lawrence. And I just said to her, I said, nobody ever brings me anything, nobody ever. And from that day on, seriously, every matinee as long as I was in that show, I'd come to the theater door and there would be a rose from Jackie. And Jackie, I just want to say to you, you don't know how much that
that's
gave
lovely.
me confidence,
See?
seriously, I really appreciate that. Yep. Jackie and the roses. Seriously. My ex-wife thought we were having a thing, but I told her no.
I have to say, I was so intimidated by Sharita because she was so cool.
She intimidated me too.
I was just this like 23-year-old doofus girl, and she intimidated the hell out of me. But I remember being at the stage door and you came in and you looked at the notice board where the mail used to be put and there wasn't any mail for you. And you said something like, nobody ever sends me any mail. So I wrote you a letter.
Yes.
And I used to bring you the red rose every week. And then when you went off to do Jesus Christ Superstar on tour, I had it sent to you every week. Yeah. He's my honey.
My Jackie.
Well, and Jackie, you have been just like such an amazing historian of all this stuff. You just saved everything. And so when we started putting this together, Jackie just started sending us pictures and was like, oh my God, never before seen. And then she started asking other people for pictures, never before seen. So
that's how we got Nancy's pearl pictures.
It is. That's one of the things I have to show you all.
But a lot of the pictures that I had were taken by Murray. Do you guys remember Murray?
Yeah, Murray Lane, yes.
Murray Lane,
yeah.
He's a sea swimmer now as well.
Yes. And he's the wonderful portraits as well.
Yes. I have one of course, Raya's Rusty, because that one got like mass produced and somebody gave it to me for my birthday. So I still have that. I have Ray Skates right here.
Oh my God. Let's see him.
Wow. This is Stephanie's little. Do you remember on opening night you got one of these? Yeah. Go? Yeah. There you go.
I still have that.
This one says Stephanie Lawrence Most Cultured Pearl. And I have Steph's pearl glove.
Oh wow.
She gave to me on closing night. And I also have her curls and her springs from her wig.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
They're somewhere. And this is my poster that you guys all signed.
Right.
So all of you are on my poster right there.
Aww. Oh, fantastic little Starlight look you have, Jackie.
I know. I like to sing. I like to have a little
Just to let
sing
you
when
know,
we're doing
Jackie, I
things.
have lots of memorabilia you can have for 50 quid a pop.
She's a humanitarian, Carole.
Can I show you what I have? I just been fixing it because I was like, I moved recently, so I took this out of my storage. You ready for this? I've been cleaning it.
Oh my God!
John and I were talking about this before.
What is it? Like, yeah, what is it? Fancy? Is it supposed to be like a sandwich or a bun? Like, we want.
Oh,
figure it out.
I actually still have the leotard. Don't ask me why. I'm like my own fan, I guess. I don't know. I have like the leotard. It's supposed to have been like Buffy, like the buffet car, like the Horn and Hard Arts they used to have in New York.
Yeah.
So the costume, which was unbreathable because it was made out of upholstery material, hence this as well. And so then we had leotard underneath, and then I had plastic on my over here. So the inside was supposed to look like sandwiches, and of course, who's going to see that? So so anyway, yeah. So that was what that was. That was supposed to be one of those quick. And I remember when we met Prince Charles and Princess Diana, which is amazing. I do have a photo of that. It means a lot to me. And I remember him coming over to me, and we were sweating like crazy. And he said, "I do believe you need some windshield wipers." I was like, okay, he had a good sense of humor. So anyway, that's that. And then I also have this.
Oh, wow. Yes.
I used to have that in red.
Again, I don't know what I'm doing with this stuff, but I do have a few things myself. I'm sure we all have our things that we have.
Remember the
saved.
Starlight jackets and the Starlight dressing gowns?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was many a present there for someone else, I'm afraid.
Here, I'm gonna try. Now you guys have to bear with me. I'm gonna try to share my screen and show y'all some photos. Jackie gave me a start during our tech rehearsal for this because she was like, "John, what's that photo that says?" And I won't say what Jackie said, but it was very impolite kind of pics. It's like, Jackie, what are you talking about? No. Okay, wait, so I'm having a challenge, as you all can see. Why can I not see the bar at the bottom? Hang on. Sorry, guys.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, here we go. Gotcha.
Here we go.
Here we go. Ready? So we have a lot. We'll just kind of.
Oh, Paul Reeves.
Oh, Paul Reeves. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, and you know what? I apologize. I'm not at the top. Let me go to the top. There's the top. Okay. Here's one.
Mark Davis.
Take it from the top, everyone. Okay, here we go. From the top. So we got Stephanie and Mark at the stage door. Look at those
That's
red
my
gloves.
friend Mark Pawsey.
Right. Oh my God. I was trying to remember his last name, and it's making me
This
crazy.
was in the Sunday magazine. It was like a day in the life of Stephanie Lawrence or something.
Is that a great picture or what?
Yeah.
Beautiful. And of course, the old Apollo Vic with the first artwork.
Wow.
I still remember that, you guys.
Me too.
Here we have.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
Right.
I was there on that day too, but I didn't have my camera with me. I kick myself every day.
Luckily, somebody had theirs. And look at, they have Jeff's name spelled wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I never noticed that.
They have Geoff Shank. Jove, exactly. Lovely Stephanie and Ray.
I remember that one. I remember that costume.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right, the black pants, those are different.
Yeah, that's they got rid of that for the tutu.
I found this hilarious, this audition notice. If you'll look down to the middle of it, like right around here, we want to see girls and black boys.
Wow.
All caps. Oh my God. I mean, you gotta love it, right? And then, Our Lady Tracy Ullman. What did she say? Something here. The music is terrific, but the entire cast has to be able to skate. I tried, but I couldn't get the hang of it. I hope Andrew keeps me in mind when he comes up with a walking role.
That's awesome.
It's more from the
Oh, I
Express.
love this.
Yeah.
Yet another costume, right? Different top from
Yeah,
both.
that is different.
Well,
And
they
that's
had a couple of goes at the costume, yeah, because they couldn't decide whether Pearl should be sexy or not, or too sexy,
Yeah.
or
They thought she looked a bit slutty in that stuff, I believe.
yeah.
And I'm like, what's wrong with that?
Her lyrics
Yeah, I thought great.
And look, we have Julie
Debbie White,
going wrong. There's Geoff again and Stephanie.
Debbie.
Yeah.
I wonder where Debbie's at these days.
I worked with Steph a
Lord
lot
knows.
before Starlight with Dougie. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm,
Oh yeah.
Tell us more.
Oh look, there's
Is Chrissy doing what I think
Wade.
she's doing?
Hey, it looks that way.
What would that be?
Oh my God. Wow.
Amazing.
Amazing. See what else we have here. Oh, it's a race beyond belief. I don't remember that ad. I don't think. Oh, it's a little later. 87. Musical. It's a musical experience. Here we go. Got the Observer putting the
Oh, I know this.
Starlight Express.
All these, sadly.
Oh, sorry.
What's that again?
What's that?
What's sadly?
I said I think I have some of these away in the loft.
Oh.
The dark depths of my loft.
That Tom Joe.
Tom Job. Yeah, Tom Job French train.
Oh, that's Tom Joe.
Wow.
Because he took over, didn't he, from
Electra.
Jeff Daniels.
Electra? He did Electra, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobo.
He did Electra pretty early on because I saw it pretty close to opening, and he was already covering.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Workshop, right?
Kensal Rise.
Oh.
No, that was Kensal Rise. That was
Kensal Rise.
Does anyone remember the first day at Kensal Rise and they had us all skating around and they said, everyone do pirouettes, and that guy, dark haired, good looking fella, his leg went backwards.
Yes.
And that was it. Everyone skate slowly, no more jumping. Bang.
We never saw him again. We never saw him again.
Career over.
All those screams. I remember those screams. I was like,
oh,
my God.
His leg was facing the other way.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dangerous stuff. Oh, that poor guy. I hope he's all right now.
Oh,
boy.
Yes. There she is. In all her glory. Oh, hang on. There we go. Is that Arlene on skates?
No, that's Chrissy.
That's Chrissy.
That's Chrissy and me and
Okay.
Chrissy. Oh my God. Me and Chrissy.
I haven't seen this one before.
Oh, I want somebody to send me that one. Wow, me and Chrissy.
Wow, all these pictures. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
I need to send you some, John.
Yeah, we can definitely share with you guys because I have them all saved to a file. So if you guys send me an email, just let me know which ones you want.
No,
I'm happy to.
I'll send you some.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll send you some.
Too. Great. So yeah, we're trying to kind of keep a little archive, just for fun.
I
That's a
remember
great ad. That's got to bring back memories.
As we were going round in the race, I used to kick a panel there, which they had to regularly just here. In front of the list.
Oh, yeah.
I used to
Smack
kick it
it
all the way
as you go
around.
past. Yeah, make him
Hence
jump.
why I often ended up with only 3 wheels, which is a bit silly, really.
Awesome though, pretty awesome.
There's Atlee. What's his name? Gary Love.
Okay, let's see what else we have in here. Oh, here we go. Opening night cast. Very exciting. And opening night numbers. Is that Void again?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's what.
Void and Debbie.
And of course,
Michael
Daniel.
He was a lovely man. It was a lovely man.
That's also one of the most beautiful songs in the show.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's me.
There's me.
Yeah. He really was so great in that role too, because I remember being so shocked, that he was bad after all. I was so disappointed in him.
That little twist in the plot.
But our musical numbers that have little to do with what the current musical order is, but but it's there for posterity.
And that was before they cut Be a Pump.
Before they cut what?
Before they cut Be a Part.
Oh, it's in there.
Daddy
No
was
thing.
Remember the wheel at the end of AC/DC?
Yes.
The wheel, yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
got to go backwards, and I used to miss the edge by a couple of inches every night.
Oh, yeah.
Backwards. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Ray,
That wheel was
Ray?
amazing, though.
I remember when they had to make the show in previews was like 3 hours long, and they had to make cuts.
Yeah.
And I remember we were all a lot of us anyway. I know I was upset that they cut that song. I thought that was such an amazing song, and it just was the heart of Rusty.
Yeah, I said to myself, oh well, there goes the Eliminate nomination.
But it was like so beautifully the way you did it. I actually cried. I thought it was really sad that they cut that. I mean, I really did.
It was just confusing people because the first line was "Daddy was right, Daddy was right," so they thought that Papa was my daddy and he wasn't. And you know, Andrew said,
why I put up a fight.
Yeah. So I mean,
do you know the when we did the Queen's performance for the opening night? That was the first, we'd done run-throughs and we could never get through it. And then we had to just do that stuff. That was the first time we'd ever not had to stop the show. We'd never not done it. And that was the Queen was in. It was like, oh, wow.
And do you remember in rehearsals, everybody was just absolutely worried sick about falling over when they shook her hand?
Yes.
You know, we were all back to the
I mean, the last thing you want to do is wipe out the Queen on your skates.
Yeah, crack the Queen in the shins,
and in rehearsal, we were back so far up to the stage, people were hitting the back of the bowl, the lip of the bowl, and literally flying. And there wasn't a single rehearsal where somebody didn't go over, shaking, you know, the Queen's standing. So we were absolutely petrified and shaking her hand that night she came.
To Carole. But I remember when the Queen came by me, and she wouldn't, you know, we weren't allowed to do anything until she puts her hands out to you. We had those instructions, and she just looked me up and down in my garter outfit, and she passed me by. And then and then she went back to me. So must have realized that was not my normal attire. I guess, I don't know, but it was very like, oh man, it was really sad. Anyway, that was my.
I was just dissed by the Queen.
But the Queen said to me, she said, "Isn't it wonderful that romance can happen between two trains?" And I said, "Yes, Your Majesty, it is."
Oh, that's sweet.
That's so sweet.
Well, that's almost like your line, Nancy, right? That's almost like I love it when romance occurs on the railroad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a funny line. I love it. But here, wait, I seem to be stalled. Here, let's see if okay. Am I unstalled now? There she is.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Francis.
Very sassy.
Yeah, someone send me some of these photos, please.
Absolutely. Message, or maybe we'll just send them all to you guys, or give you a link to the folder. It's totally fine too. That would be stuff too.
Oh, Eddie
in the background there.
There's Carole. There's Koffi.
Eddie.
Oh, that's Eddie.
Eddie.
Kemp.
Yeah.
I love Eddie.
Carole.
Glad they were taking pictures.
Oh my God! Remember
Las
the first time we did that Freight 3, the first night we did that, and we took our caps off. The audience, we stopped the show with that. Remember? We used to stop the show with Freight 3.
Oh,
I love this. It's one of my favorite parts of the show.
Oh, I want that picture, please. I gotta please send it to me.
I'll give you that because I have your emails. I'll just give you guys all access to the folder, and then you can just take them. If that's okay with everybody, if you guys don't
mind
close
to the Nazi salute though. Oh,
it's a great one. Love that.
I have a quick question. Where did the Queen sit when she came to see the show? Was she in the paddock?
Yeah,
she was.
Yeah.
Oh,
they
fun.
removed seats though, so there was virtually just 2 rows, I think, for her and her entourage. Yeah,
that's fun. That was the best place to sit. If you were sitting, that was the best place.
Oh, I agree. I always used to sit there.
And nobody came off the bridge that night into the audience, which is good.
Do you remember the postman?
The what?
The postman.
Oh, he came every night.
Yeah.
Well, the big fella, but the dark moustache. What's his name?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Sorry, that's my leg again.
Oh, this is nice. Look at
your leg again.
That's my leg, and that's really embarrassing.
I think that's
Great leg.
impressive.
Go off.
Fabulous leg. I love that leg.
Remember when Michael
I love
Jackson
that
came?
picture.
Remember when
Well, we
Michael
have a
Jackson
picture of that,
Oh,
and we have a
wow,
picture of
yeah.
the Queen, and we have a
He
couple
came
of other,
twice.
couple of other visitors. This is so good. These are such good photographs.
I love this. Yeah.
And then, of course, the train.
Oh
the
gosh,
theater.
I
So
love this
great.
picture.
George.
Fabulous. I love this one. She's so focused,
Yeah.
and just look at her, adorable. Jackie, for like 1 millisecond, I thought that was you. Justin, I was like, oh my God, you really did everything.
No, I had my terrible Annie perm at that point. That's
Oh,
like
Michael. Like, here's MJ. And
Yes.
that's how it looked too. She's kind of like, I love it. And so Jackie was saying Michael Jackson was interested in playing Rusty. Is that true, Jackie? That's crazy.
Oh,
Well,
did
the thing
I
is,
say? I don't.
no,
No, that was me.
That was a John.
Andrew was going to do an animation thing, and he
Oh,
wanted Michael
right.
to do the voice.
Okay.
It was going to be him or El DeBarge. And I said, why can't I do it? He says, they sell records.
Rude. Rude. I am sorry. That is very, very rude.
No, but that's true. I mean,
Yeah, it's just, the
That
biz,
ball.
right?
Oh my God.
Oh wow, these
Well, this is a whole series.
These were pictures that we took in between shows.
Ah,
She's not-
okay.
and she's not wearing her knee pads, which somebody pointed out to me I'd never noticed before.
Remember what was her name that was skating nude on stage and
Eleanor Bertram.
And so Nick Bromley comes
whipped
down
up
and
her
says,
bra.
yes, Nick Bromley says, Ellie, you're not wearing knee pads.
Nick Bromley.
Nick Bromley, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I believe now we're to the Nancy. That's Nancy, right? That's Carole?
Nancy.
Yeah.
I want that picture.
I'm gonna send it to you, Ray.
I'm gonna give you guys. I'm just gonna give you guys all a link to the whole folder, and that way you can have them all. You can see them all, and you download them and whatever you want. And there's more Nancy. This is like the Nancy section. Sorry, I uploaded them all at the same time, so it kind of turned into like a Nancy, a Nancy montage.
Oh,
But like I said, I'm
looking
so
good, Nancy.
excited, for the show. And of course, I was a big Stephanie Lawrence fan, being a 14-year-old gay guy that had seen Evita the year before and all that. And so I went to read the board the day I went to the show, the matinee I went to the show, and it said, Nancy Wood was on for Stephanie Lawrence. And I was like, well, I'm sure she's going to be wonderful. I'm sad, but I will make it back. I'll see Stephanie, but so let's see how this Nancy Wood lady is. And of course, you opened your mouth and you were magical. And I was telling Jackie, very much your own, Pearl. Like your performance was different. Because sometimes they have understudies really follow what the principal does, and I felt like they must have given you some leeway. Maybe you can tell us. Did they let you kind of create your own version?
I don't remember. The only thing I do remember one time is, talking to Trevor Nunn, who was with the Royal Shakespeare Company. And this is my opportunity to get some feedback. And I said, Trevor, what is my motivation here? And he looked at me and he said, you're a train. You're a train. That is your motivation. I was like, great. Okay, thank you. So that was about it.
Oh, Lordy.
Well,
Lord have mercy.
I don't really remember, to be honest with you, except that I think I was used to understudying from when I did a chorus line, and so I got used to putting a little bit of me into whatever performances, and so I don't know if I tried to fill the responsibility of the role. So I don't know, but thank you for liking my performance. I don't remember.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I was already pretty critical Little Show Queen by then. So I have to say, like, really, if I hadn't known you weren't the regular person that was on stage every day, never would have known. Never would have known. You inhabited that role and you were great. And, I'll never forget. And then I always feel like it's special now. I always feel like it's special when I get to see an understudy, because I get to see something that not everybody else has seen, and get like a feel that not everybody else has had. And you guys are heroes anyway. I mean, Nancy, how many parts did you play? You played Elektra, Pearl, Buffy, Anything else?
But yeah, well, I was Buffy, and then I understudied Pearl, and I did more second acts for some reason. Stephanie had some injuries, I think. And then I stepped in for Elektra. I think it was like the third or fourth understudy for that. And I actually had a costume. I remember the costume, they put the cod piece like near my belly button. I was like, that doesn't look right.
Oh, we have a photo. We
Oh yeah, we've got a couple of photos.
Oh my God.
And I stepped in for Belle, and then I did the control voice. So I did quite a lot. I don't know.
We have a picture of you as Belle too, if I recall. I knew there was another one. And Carole was like the same. Carole was all over the place too. Here's Princess Wales, so beautool.
Did she enjoy the show? Did she? Not like she's going to tell you she didn't like it.
It was crap.
She told me it was crap. Did she have any special compliments that she paid you guys?
She asked me if we ever run out of track, and I was very diplomatic and said,
I remember we were standing next to each other, weren't we, Carole?
We were. And
Do you remember? And you were so excited. You kept squeezing my hand. I said, Carole, could you just leave me alone? She's coming in a minute.
She was divine, and she sat on the floor with us in the bar and everything. She was fabulous. Fabulous. But yeah.
Wonderful person, yeah. And she absolutely loved the show. She loved the show.
She asked an inordinate amount of questions about the costumes, about how we rehearsed.
Yeah. I remember Prince Charles asked me, he said, so what character are you then? And I said, well, I'm Perse, the money truck. And he went, oh, I see, and moved on. that was it. You know what? I felt blessed at that moment. I was like, yes.
And I remember him, he could not take his eyes off of Debbie Wake's cones in her costume. He just could not, all he stared at. Debbie Wake's breasts.
Well, that kind of Debbie Wake was a hit with most of us, I think.
Just for a quick moment, I want to just hop in and say, Phil, thank you for being here. Phil has to leave us, Phil Edwards, but we're so happy you could join us, Phil, and we hope to keep in touch.
Thank you, Phil.
Take care, Phil. Great seeing you again.
Good seeing you.
Bye for being here.
Bye.
So I've got a quick question to all of you. Obviously, you've rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed. You've opened the show. You're relieved to be doing the show, but then
look at Nancy.
At what point?
On.
At what point did the production team realize, oh, everybody's going to have to start covering other roles just in case, and we're going to have to continue rehearsing the show?
We only did the show with the full company for the first 3 or 4 performances. And then, in fact, remember, guys, we used to always skate at we used to run out at on matinee days to that park, and then they banned us from going out there.
Yeah, James's Park.
Yeah.
And Rangers used to say, I know where you're from. We know where you're from.
I love it.
But
were you the official understudy for Belle, or was this one of the times when you got thrown on?
That was Sam.
Because nobody else was there.
No, I think this was the only time I ever did Belle. I mean, they just literally threw a costume on. I think it was an understudy. I don't think it was P.P. Arnold's, but anyway, literally we had 15 minutes, and then I was like, so they did my hair. Hugo did my hair. We just threw it together. That was the only time. Yeah, it was great.
It's insane.
And they're just like, she'll be fine. Whatever. Fine. Throw her out there.
We had one occasion where we ran out of Elektra covers.
Oh, here we are.
Literally ran out of Elektra covers.
There she is.
I have no cod piece now.
And then Koffi arrived.
Amazing. Yeah, I remember the first time I saw that picture, I just died because I had no idea. I was just like,
these were all taken by Murray.
Yes.
He gave me copies of them all.
Brilliant.
And there's another.
Oh, look at that.
My job. Oh.
Francis, you were so young.
Oh, it's a
Wow.
baby. And of course, the Lord himself.
Yes.
He's very moody there. Isn't he? Very moody.
Remember when he started? Remember when he was like, "I withdraw the score. I withdraw the score."
Oh, he does that with every show,
I
apparently.
withdraw the score.
I have to tell you guys a story about this place in front of the theater because I was there with my mother, 14 years old, first time I saw the show, and there was this guy like kind of up at the top of those stairs, like on the right, like kind of like right here. Very, very, very handsome guy. And I handed my camera to my mother and I go, "Here, take my picture." And I stood like right in front of him. So that he would be behind me. So somewhere I have to find that I have this photograph of this very handsome man that I spotted at the theater.
Oh, Jeffrey.
That's terrible.
That's lovely.
This is great. I love this.
Oh, I want pictures of all of this.
We'll give you guys access to the whole folder. I'll send you guys a link to the whole folder. Oh, wait,
I
hang
love
on.
those original costumes.
Wait, is
I
that-
haven't been a fan of some of the later iterations that they've had.
Yeah, I mean they're all great, but like it was so good the way it started.
Yeah.
It's never been quite the same. We've been to Bochum a few times. Oh, this is a good one.
Oh my!
It was the
Now, this
80s.
is the one that we couldn't figure out who this lady was.
This lady?
Blonde lady.
That's Jane Eve.
Huh?
That's Jane. She's a
Who's the
dancer.
dance captain?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Look at all the hair going on there.
She
I
was
know,
in Hot
right?
Gossip, and she came in to be
Yeah,
the
she was in
dance
Hot Gossip,
captain.
that's right.
Jane,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm in contact with Jane.
Yeah, lovely girl.
Let's see if we can make this baby keep going here. Ah, that might have been
Oh, I love this as well. Yeah,
great, isn't it?
love this photo.
Oh, these
That
are
was
fabulous.
Daily Mail.
And is that?
Is that coffee?
I'm afraid so. Yes.
Oh, look at you.
Awesome.
Good coffee.
Look at you.
Yeah,
And Drew's
Bobby
there, right?
Collins.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's right, Bobby.
Bobby, myself,
And
and
Mark
Mark
Davis.
Davis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Greaseball gangs. Oh, look at
Oh,
There
that's
he
right.
is.
Danny.
and Mark.
And Mark.
Yeah.
Danny
Wow.
Mark and I used to work for Dougie Squire's Second Generation. That's how we all met. We used to share, travelled the world together.
Wow.
So we all ended up on skates together.
So everybody really does know everybody in show business.
Yeah, I
That's
was
the
going to say,
thing.
small
This is
world.
crazy. Yeah.
And that's
Is
is that
that me
Coffee
again?
Cat?
Yeah,
Kim,
that's me.
Kim
Yeah.
and Coffee.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Kim.
With Kim, right?
Kim.
Lisa.
Yeah.
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 Carole
Fabulous.
in the background there.
Yeah, always in the background.
Yeah, hovering, always hovering.
You guys must have. Oh, look.
Oh,
favorite. I remember that face.
I remember.
That face.
I hated those
Jackie
coffee. I
What?
hated those little things we had to wear. Mine always
buttons.
fall off.
Glue.
Oh, I know.
They look like the mumps. The mumps.
The rivets.
They
Well,
were
they were
so
supposed to be
cute.
rivets.
rivets.
I mean, I do get it. But
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
They would sweat off. They would just sweat off and you skate on them like fall.
Well, you know, Rusty was falling apart, so.
Horrible glue.
Jackie asked me.
Some of the
"Oh, I
makeup was
didn't-
amazing.
Sorry?
Some of the makeup was amazing.
It was. I was just gonna say, Jackie asked me what your performance was like, Coffee, because I had seen you filling for Ray, and I said the word that came to my mind was sweet. Like you were just so sweet. Your Rusty was just the sweetest.
He made me sick. I wanted to punch him.
I never would have known. You were so very sweet. You were just adorable.
I wanted to slap him.
You're like, you gotta hold yourself, kid. That's Drue jumping, right?
Whoa,
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Well, Drue was
Jumping.
insane. Drue was
Yeah,
insane.
jumping
I
Bobby.
just remember he was like jumping over 1 million people. It was like, who
That's
is
right,
this
yeah.
person?
That's pretty loony.
Drue, you were crazy.
That's Bobby on the ground, right?
It was
Yes.
fun though.
It's like,
Was
Yeah,
it
Bobby.
Bobby? No.
Drue.
Yeah,
Was it-
that was Bobby.
And we
Is it-
got a couple of
That's
Is that-
me as Greaseball.
oh,
Is
that's
that
not
Gary? Gary Quinty? Was that Coffee?
I
No, no, that's not.
I'm not sure. I think
Is
it's
that
me.
Gary
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Quinty's?
No,
Yeah, it says
That's
that's
Coffee.
Coffee,
Is that
That's
Coffee?
Coffee.
and Kim and Beverly and
Beverly.
Drue, right?
Beverly, yeah.
I stole that from the fandom website, and I kept it because they had that description. Look at you,
Woo woo.
so blonde.
Oh, have you got Bowers on there, Drue?
I've still got Bowers, yeah.
Do you know what? I can't find mine, so I got a pair for Christmas 2 years ago, and I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven.
I've got mine in storage.
Carole.
And again, like, you know, we're talking about everybody, you know, playing so many roles, Carole, and if she'll load, Carole on the right. Isn't that you, Carole?
Wow, yeah.
And then we got
Sebastian and
Sebastian.
We got a Carole.
Rhea Jane Hyde.
Carole, look at you.
And then we got one more. Carole.
Oh, yes.
Superstar.
I saw you as Dinah. I saw you.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been
Okay,
trying
this-
to find Sebastian forever, but I can't find anything.
This picture I have to tell you. Go back, John.
Which one? That one?
No, to the girls.
Oh, yeah. Huh?
This one with Kevin. This has never been seen before. So one of my friends had a really great camera. She took so many pictures at Starlight, and Stephanie asked if she could borrow the album, and she never got them back. But she made some prints and she emailed them to me. So I don't share her pictures very often because they're her pictures, they're not mine. So this one has never been seen before.
Wow.
But I wanted to share it today because
Thanks for
there's
showing us, Jackie.
and the next one as well.
This one here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lovely.
Great shot.
Put that one on stage. She's got some
Thanks,
amazing
Jackie. Great.
pictures.
Yeah. So who do we have here? We have Boyd.
Nancy.
Nancy,
Nancy.
Francis, and Steph.
Yeah.
And Steph, yeah.
But that's not Christy. Who's,
Is that
Christy
Boyd?
Wickett.
No, that's Boyd.
That's Boyd.
That's Boyd, yeah.
oh my gosh.
She always had her own hair.
Do you
But she
remember
had
the
Ashley.
original Ashley was Jay Curley, the dreadlocks in the workshop?
Yes,
Okay.
yay.
She was great.
Yes.
I don't blame Void for using her own hair. The wig for Ashley was really top heavy, and I was on for Ashley one night, and you had to do this knee slide with a full flat at the end, and my head ended up on my hands, which was absolutely as it should have been. We got the applause, and up I stood, and I think it was Nancy saying, "Get off! You need to get off!" And there was blood dripping down my face.
Oh no!
The microphone had hit me in the head.
Of course, the microphone.
Just ripped it down
Hardcore. That is very hardcore.
Bobby.
Bobby.
Wow.
Another nice shot.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
I've always wondered why Chrissy is a half dressed in that one.
It was probably.
Where was I?
Don't recall.
Probably in the
That's Prince Charles, right?
Yeah.
Prince Charles, yeah.
And my eye.
And Ray's eye. And that's her eye.
Do you remember when Lon left his microphone on in the toilet?
Yes, I do.
Oh God.
I do. I remember that so well. Because I think we all heard what was going on in that bathroom on stage, and we were cracking up. I mean, it was the funniest thing ever.
Did he take it well when you told him about it?
Oh, he was.
I don't think he cared really, to be honest with you.
We had to make him We had to make him a flap in the back of his costume. It had little buttons with elastic on them, so that if he needed to go, he could pull it down real quick.
That's
that incident, yeah.
He was definitely the oldest cast member, right? By far.
Yeah, in the workshop. Do you
Yeah.
remember? Does anyone remember in the workshop? He used to fall asleep and snore.
Oh yeah.
He'd fall asleep when I was doing his makeup. I had to constantly light him a cigarette, pour him his chamomile and honey tea, and just, I'd be doing his eyebrows, and his head would fall forward and it'd go up on his forehead.
I remember during Bell's number one time, there was a new spotlight guy, and they didn't have the spotlight on Lon, and he sat on this thing, and he just bumped it across stage and leaned into the light.
Oh, I remember. He used to do that all the time. Yeah, we loved his spotlight.
More Jeff. That's something different there. Let's see. And that's Koffi.
Now,
Yeah.
you see, we had been doing Starlight for a year, and we decided, as chorus people, that we were going to change up our makeup and not do the standard makeup. So I've got, I think, #1 printed on them. I've got a couple of tears because the 1 year is gone, and you know, some people left, and I've got one eye dark, the other one light. I've got a completely different wig on. In fact, that wig was supposed to be worn the other way around, and I've got it on back to front. But I thought it was funny. Nothing to do with purse, actually, that makeup at all.
I was trying to figure it out.
Know whatever happened to Richard Bodkin? Richard Bodkin, my skating double.
Yeah, don't know where. Heard nothing of him at all. I know.
I was wondering.
What's his name?
There's a lot of
Michael Seraphin.
Yeah,
Michael
Seraphin. Yeah.
I was wondering, there's a lot of people we don't know where they are.
Yeah, Michael Seraphin gigs now.
Yeah.
He's what?
He gigs singing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's working tonight. He couldn't be here.
Yeah,
oh, because we used to hang out on the roof. He used to be one of the gang members that we used to go up the roof and do our dance routines up there and sing and dance. And...
Wasn't Richard working with Seal at one point?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And Ray, I had no idea as an audience member that you had a skating double. Jackie was the one that told me about that.
I had a bunch. I didn't know that either.
No, that was me.
It was John. Sorry, John.
Yeah.
All those times I stood at the back, it was £2 to stand at the back, but sometimes I got in for free, and I would be cheering Rusty on, thinking that I was cheering on Ray, and it was.
I did the race. I did the final one time, and I won it, but everybody else fell. Trevor said we need some consistency, so I went up. I would go up in the. Oh my God, what's his name?
I do remember that with the jumping Rusty for the races, because it was really difficult, especially Ray. I don't know if you can remember that S bend up on the top track there.
That used to kill me.
Nightmare. A nightmare. And the race was just went on forever, and it's like,
and that's where we would make the changeover. I would go down the S bend, and then I would walk down the thing, go into the tunnel. And then it was after all it was over, I come out going, I must find out.
And I thank you for that, because I had a race double as well when I took over.
Did you really? You had a race double?
Yeah, it was Gary Codice.
Oh my God.
Sometimes Gary Forbes, yeah.
Because mine was Richard Bodkin, one of the Rockies.
Okay.
Richard Bodkin.
Yeah. Well, from the stature, you two were very similar. Yeah.
Didn't he pass away, this brother?
What?
This brother, the picture. Didn't he pass away?
Oh, yeah.
Paul Reeves. Yeah.
Paul Reeves, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Abraham. Do you remember Abraham?
Yeah, I was with. I went to see Abraham right before he. I was with him the day before he passed. I went to the hospital. Yeah, he was a guy.
He was a lovely guy. Yeah,
amazing. And what was so deep about it? You should have heard this guy do Shakespeare. Abraham was the most amazing Shakespearean actor, and he never really got to do with that. You know, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have here.
Michael.
Oh, so there's a story here, right?
Okay, so I took this picture. This was Paul the Lift Guy. Do you remember Paul the Lift Guy?
Oh, Paul the Lift Guy.
Irish guy.
This costume apparently was the Dream Train that danced with Pearl.
Oh, the Dream Train.
Yeah, Mark Davis.
I never saw. So can anybody talk a little bit about the Dream Train? I know that it was Mark. Like, was it in He Whistled at Me?
I don't even remember. I think it was yesterday.
It was after Pearl, yeah, and he'd come on and do this adagio on stage, dressed in this one-piece lycra. Don't know though. I don't know.
It didn't stay in the show long though, did it?
No.
Surprise. I can't really remember it. Yeah.
I do.
But I think that this might be the only picture of this actual costume. And this was obviously at Christmas when Paul dressed up. So.
It's just coming back to me that there was actually a lift guy. It just feels like something that doesn't happen these days. Do you ever see anyone working a lift anymore?
Oh, I know, right?
That lift was yeah.
It needed it.
Not very stable.
It was not, no. Oh, this is lovely as well.
Oh, Fifi.
Never be late for a queue because the lift was never there. Not when you needed it.
No, definitely. Oh,
I look like my grandson in that picture. Oh my God.
Oh my God, you look like a baby in this picture. Oh my goodness.
These were two presents that I gave to you, I remember.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Very cool.
This was from the single, and this was with Gloria Hunniford. You did some thing with Laura and Gloria Hunniford.
Yeah. Sharita, my ex-wife, she did all those paintings.
This is a black and white picture. I just have this random picture from rehearsal. I don't know where I got it from.
Is that Debbie?
Gary Love.
That's Gary.
Gary Love, yeah.
Is that Debbie?
Yeah. Debbie,
Yeah.
Jeff, Geoff,
Yeah.
and
Christy.
And that's what's his name in the back?
Gary
Sebastian.
Sebastian, yeah. Sebastian.
yeah. Sebastian was so cute.
Sebastian Craig. He was a lovely person, lovely guy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Didn't he move to Italy or something at some point?
Ooh, I don't know.
Sure.
I have no idea.
Oh, these are nice.
Wow.
Atlee, isn't that Atlee at the back there?
Yeah.
Oh, we have some good set photos here. Again, from the Jackie Craig collection.
I mean, that's insane. You guys skated on that every day. That's just nuts.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
Wow.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
Who was it
Jackie.
came backwards down the lift and fell straight into the auditorium?
Right?
Annie
That was, I know. Maynard.
Maynard.
Yeah, he came off that lift backwards.
And they kept playing round and round and round, and all of a sudden he came up and he went, "I am electric."
The show must go on.
That was scary.
Yeah.
I used to have to go and put money in the meter for his Corvette.
Oh, what about this, guys? This is from our friend. Who is he, John?
This is Martin Fuge, who's a member of the Starlight Trainwrecks group, and he unfortunately couldn't make it today. So he made a little video for us, and he's got a question for you all. So
it's very, very short. It's like a minute long. So we told him we'd play it.
Wow. How you guys managed to race wearing these every night, I do not know. Hi everyone, my name's Martin. I'm a huge fan of the show. First saw the show back in 1988 and then a couple of years later, and I've been hooked ever since. Now, before my question, I'd just like to thank John and everyone who's made this possible, including the artists and everybody who's joined in tonight. So over many years and many performances, I've seen things go wrong or nearly go wrong on stage. And my question is, what's the most scariest thing that's ever happened while you've been on that fantastic set at the Apollo Victoria? Thanks in advance. Take care. I look forward to your answers. Goodbye.
Well, can I jump in first? I remember, if you remember this, we never had marshals in the very beginning, and we got marshals because Shankly was he was skating to save Pearl, and the thing hadn't hooked up yet, and if Jeffrey Daniels hadn't have grabbed him and pulled him back, he would have fell into the machinery, and. I remember I hit this little finger on the bridge, and I had to have electrolysis to make this thing work. So I made sure that I never hit anything else.
Yeah. Right. There was two which stick out to me in a rehearsal one time. Mark Davis came off the roll and came down to the paddock and got his foot stuck in, and the barriers came down, the metal bar, and it broke his skate off. And they were trying to undo his skate to stop it. Yeah. The other time, Jeff Shankly came in as an entrance, and they miscued the bridge. He went straight to the bridge and knocked his front teeth out.
The Jeff Shankly Memorial Bridge. That's what it was called. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I remember those.
I mean, it was
Wow.
just dangerous. That was like we had to be. I would go back and watch the show and say, I must have been fucking crazy. You had to be bionic to do that show. Seriously, it was like deep in the heart of Texas. Serious. I remember when I met the German cast. That's why I didn't stay there that long. The first time I met the German cast, they were coming in. Oh, I've been in here 9 years. All coming up. I was like, nah, mate. And that German company, the Volcom set was scared. I mean, it was bigger than London. Bigger than London. I walked up on the stage and my skate just fell apart. Things that happened on that stage never happened in London.
Yeah, it was really bad accidents.
The meet and greet the first time. People with neck braces and arm braces. Mate, I'm going home.
I mean,
I broke my arm on that set.
In Germany.
Which one? Yeah.
My arm, I landed it and just went backwards. There was a thing into the bowl coming down from the top because it's a much, much bigger set. And there was a girl called Michelle Musty, and she fell and hit her arm, and her arm bone went through her shoulder.
Oh my God.
She doesn't move to this day properly.
Wow.
I mean, that was one of the worst ones we've seen.
Marek Kirk's collarbone just.
I don't know if you remember.
Have any big major accidents. Sorry, Nancy.
No, I'm interrupting. I apologize. No, I remember it. Well, my incident was besides flying off the stage in rehearsal, but the other one was at the end of the show before I said my line about romance on the railroad. I do a little train kiss with Pearl, and for some reason, like a cartoon character, I landed like that, and it was the belt, and I thought I crushed my back. And I don't know if you remember, I was off for about 6 weeks, and thank God, it was really, and then my goal was to get back on after 6 weeks, when we knew that Michael Jackson was arriving, and Prince Charles and Princess Diana. So that was my goal to get back, but thank God I didn't break it. They thought it was a hairline fracture, but that was because of the belt. But thank God, no, it was a facade joint. So,
I mean, the thing about the London set, I mean, it was fantastic to look at, but you could tell it wasn't built by anybody who knew anything about skaters, because it was quite sort of illogical the way it was built, and the twists and turns that you had to negotiate with for ankles. I mean, it was like complete nightmare. So it was a fast track, but we had to do twists and turns like nobody's business. And when I went to do Bochum, because the set is so much bigger, you've got much more of a chance to pick up some speed. But then, of course, that means at the end of the race, you're knackered. I'm much more knackered than you are in London, I felt. Plus,
and the costumes were bigger as well.
Because you had a body double, you monkey.
No, but do that. No, but having said that, the costumes were heavier as well. They were bigger. I mean, I loved the costumes, but Electra's costume, for example, it came up like you had these like shoulder paddings that came up like this, and with the helmet. In the race, you couldn't move. I mean, you just could not move. You were boxed in. And I remember my shoulder muscles killing me and trying to lift my arms up for Electra. It was like, oh no, I can't use it.
The race costume was 55-pound heavy. I got on a scale, it weighed 55 pounds and tight, so you just couldn't move in it. But it was a big
I mean, not great, but
Koffi,
nightmare.
Remember that tunnel that on the Volcom stage, right? Yeah. That little tunnel. I mean, the first time I came, I didn't know that thing picked up speed, and like I just didn't want to do it. So I'm going down there screaming, "Stop! Stop!" seriously, clawing the walls like a cat, trying to make myself stop because I was terrified. And when it came time to jump, and Papa had to jump over somebody. I said, baby, no, I ain't jumping over that. No. They sent me home. I went from.
I'll be back in a minute. I just have to change my. I'm running out of battery.
But
excuse me, I have to say goodbye. Bye, Koffi.
Oh, okay.
Just saying it's so lovely to see you.
I have to go soon.
Francis, can I ask you a quick question before you go?
Sure.
Yes.
So obviously you didn't understudy anybody when you were doing the show. If you could play any other
Who's
part.
that? What, me?
For Francis.
Oh.
No, because I know that you understudied. So Francis,
Yeah, I
if
was
you
gonna
could
say.
play any other part, what part would you like to play?
Rusty, the lead, of course. Big hugs, everyone. So lovely seeing you. You look amazing, everybody. You haven't changed.
Brandon, you're gonna be in New York. You're gonna be in New York in
darling.
August. Are you gonna be in New York in August?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see you then.
Thanks for being
Bye,
here.
Bye,
Mwah.
Baby.
Joining us, Francis.
Bye, Francis.
Speaking of Dinah and Francis, I had a question from somebody in the audience who is a friend of mine who's shy. So they asked if I would ask for them, which is, did anybody feel like Dinah was based on Tammy Wynette?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. It's just, well, there was that song, right? She had that song about the DIVORC.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Oh my goodness.
To
But we
say,
had
Richard Stilgoe's lyrics were just so good.
very clever.
Yeah.
Very
That's such
clever.
a great song.
It is. I always look forward to it.
I have a question for Ray. So I was lucky to see you back in the show in London as Popper in the 90s. And I just was wondering, was it strange going back into the show in that particular role and seeing somebody else playing the role that you originated? That must have been.
It was really, because I was walking down right near, I was coming out of Covent Garden Station, walking down the street, and Arlene was walking. She said, Ray, what are you doing? I said, I'm walking down the street. So she says to me, she said, Lon hadn't come back. They had made the switch over. And Lon, because in March, he had done the Saturday night, and then with the new company was supposed to start that next Monday or Tuesday, and he never came back. So she said, would you think about, and I said, yeah, sure. But I remember listening to, I cannot think of the brother who did it before. I had two of them. I had James Gillian the second year, and the other guy, I cannot think of his name. But anyway.
Adrian Hansel?
No, it wasn't Adrian. No, it wasn't Adrian.
Was it Greg Ellis?
No, it wasn't Greg. It was.
What part was it? Rusty?
It was Rusty. It was Rusty. He did it. He Paul. I think his name was Paul.
Oh, Paul Whitaker, was it?
Yeah.
No, Paul.
Paul Baker.
Paul
Anyway.
Baker.
Paul Baker, beautiful
Yeah.
voice. And I what I would do is like when it came down to the soft ones, I would go, I would get into my Rusty voice. Rusty, you're blind. So I mean, it was just weird watching somebody else play Rusty, but I would stick those little things in there so they know I did it first. But it was really, it was cool playing both parts, Rusty and Papa. I mean, I got this record deal for email, and they fired all of us. Yeah, it was so stupid because people were coming to see the show for email too. You know what I mean? And they sent me this thing, Rachel, email is firstly contracted to Starlight Express and all that. So we got into a lot of trouble.
Soon, I don't know. I'll check on it in a minute.
What's happening?
What happened?
I don't know.
I have to go though. I do have to go now, folks.
All right.
Drew.
Thanks for being here.
Hey, Kevin, do you remember when you were parked in your Mercedes outside when it had construction outside, all the rigging up, and then you had Bronson sitting next to you, and then the builders, they emptied a bucket of water over you.
Yeah. And I got out the car and I climbed up a 5-story building ladder, and because I was so fucking angry. I went up and they all disappeared, and I'm on the roof of this building because I was standing at traffic lights, and the roof down this Mercedes, bucket of water. Now it's funny, but when you're getting soaked in your car, I was livid. I just left the car in the middle of the road and just climbed the building. I was
Drew, when are you back in? Drew, when are you back in? When are you back in the UK?
UK. Well, I'm planning on. I'm finding out about a job, and I've got to find out in the next week about it, and that will mean I'm moving somewhere else. But I think the UK within 4 or 5 weeks. But then I'm going to go and do a bit of traveling in Europe, and I've got this job. So I'm dependent on what's with this job. So I don't care if I get it or not, but I can't decide until that point. But I think in about 6 weeks, 5 weeks, I'll be over.
If you're in Houston, holler at me.
But give me a buzz when you get back. Give me a buzz.
Will do.
Back. Yeah.
And by the way, Liverpool just won 2-0 against Everton.
And so did Macron. It looks like Macron won the election too.
Bye.
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 Oh, take care. Thank you for joining us, Drue.
That's it.
It's about time for us to pull the train into the station, but I did ask the audience for just any last minute questions, and I'm going to take a couple of those. I don't think we have time for all of them, but I really liked. This one is, what is everybody's least favorite song in the show? So I'm going to take that. Good, right? Sassy.
The least favorite song. No, I liked them. I enjoyed all of them. In fact, the one I enjoyed the most was the one that was close to the end, because it meant I could take the skates off.
What I have just bouncing from that question. What was the most difficult number for you to learn? For any of you, as a production number in the show?
For me, it was Be a Pump, and then they cut it.
AC/DC was 7/8, so that was really peculiar.
That was a really, it didn't make any sense.
Didn't
really
make any sense at all. We had to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's difficult to.
Absolutely bonkers. Yeah.
You had to really count on that.
1, 2, 3. Ah, crazy.
And to think a song like that had never been done in theatre before.
Never ever done.
That sort of rhythm had never been, so it was totally experimental.
Yeah.
And we were the first people to be able to, dance to something like that, as crazy as that. But it kind of works. People don't think about it now, but back then it was totally new.
It hasn't been done since 7/8.
Well, I think you can only really do that once, because but it worked with that kind of, with that kind of show. I mean, it fitted in like anything.
It was fabulous until the bowl didn't open for our entrance.
And guys,
for the entrance, nothing.
Was Sarah Brightman on tape or every performance that the high Electra? Was that somebody in the
was that her? I always wondered.
Yeah.
She's the one that reverbed right at the end.
I didn't know that.
I always wondered.
Sarah Brightman.
Yeah.
So I have confirmation of that.
I have a song question that somebody might be able to answer, especially the ones who were there for the second year. Why did they cut Only He and turn it into Only You? Does anybody know?
Well,
that's a good question.
Because it was written especially for Stephanie, and because Stephanie could make it that big. And no disrespect to the other Pearls or anything like that, but that's why they did it, because Stephanie needed that. She had that. She could do this the pearly small voice, but she could do the big huge voice as well.
Big belt voice.
And that's why. I
always wondered if that was the reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you know?
Yeah, that was Stephanie, baby. In fact, it was a trip.
The big belters.
Yeah. I mean, I remember we were in previews. Stephanie would always be looking down at my skates right before she, before it was like, and I would look down and see if it was something. It's like, my guys, we were always looking at the stage to see if there was a hairpin or something on the stage that we could not have to look. So I went to her dressing room and said, Stephanie, what do you keep looking down at the floor for? And then she burst into tears. I am so popular. Anyway, that's how we bonded, because we had this big fight about her looking at my skates, during our duet. But she became, I felt so protective of her after that, because she didn't think people liked her. And I said, of course they liked you. What are you talking about, girl? But she was a lot more sensitive than people actually really realized. She was really, really, and
I think she felt under a lot of pressure. I had the impression. But she was amazing. She was an amazing performer, but I had the feeling she was very insecure.
Well, you wouldn't think
the
so
conversations.
from a performance.
No, absolutely.
So. But she was. You're right, Carl.
That's the phenomenal thing about it. I remember we used to have these like little conversations just before she used to go on for Only He. And she said, Koffi, could you just listen out? Because I just don't feel I'm nailing the notes. And
amazing.
Little old me, I'm like, well, I'll you know, I'll listen out for you. But in my eyes, she was brilliant. She could do no wrong. And she acted the song. She wasn't just singing it and going through the movements. She was feeling like you, Ray, exactly the same thing. It's like you felt the songs. So even if there was a slight, it didn't really matter because the feeling came across and she just sold the song. And that's I learned so much doing Starlight in those early years. So much. Just by watching, listening, and learning. Just fantastic. You know.
I mean, like when we would talk, I don't think, Jackie, you probably know about this. She never really got over Marilyn. And I mean, when we first started, she was really sad because, you know, I got the feeling in the very beginning that it wasn't even so much as she wanted to do Starlight, but she would have much rather been doing Marilyn at that time.
Yeah, I think that was a big disappointment for her that the show didn't run longer. But I think the show as a whole just had a very troubled history. But I had emailed Larry Fuller on it was the anniversary in March, for Marilyn opening, and I was like, happy, you know, Marilyn opening anniversary, Larry. And he emailed me back and he said, oh, thank you very much. He said it wasn't a very happy experience. So I think that there was a lot of stuff that went on with the producers being American, and I heard that a lot of it got cut down and everything, and it only ran for, I think, maybe 3.5 months. It just got to be gut-wrenching, especially when you leave something like Evita.
Yeah, she didn't feel appreciated. She didn't feel like, and I don't think she ever got to do that. A lot of us don't really get to do that. We, you know, of her magnitude, she was so gorgeous. She had that voice, she had that everything. And, you know, I would have thought that somebody somewhere, you know, would have written something that, you know, that was hers, and the only thing that was hers was Marilyn, and it didn't do what it was supposed to.
Yeah, I think she had a lot of bad luck after that. Actually, after Starlight obviously was huge, but then another show that she was supposed to be doing ran out of money during rehearsals, and then she did the Blue Angel in Bristol, and it didn't come to London, and you know, it's just.
Well, I saw her in Blood Brothers. She was fantastic.
I saw her in
Oh my God. Just amazing.
She was amazing, Mrs. Johnson. She was absolutely phenomenal.
Oh,
really
fabulous in Cats. Cats.
Cats too.
It's very sad though, because I do feel like she obviously had her demons. I experienced some of it when I was with her, but it's just really, really sad because it's true. She didn't have a lot of confidence, a lot of self-confidence. I would go to watch her, you know, when she did a TV show or something, and afterwards she would say, was that okay? Did I do okay? And I'm like, you're freaking Stephanie Lawrence. You have the most amazing voice. Why are you asking me if you did okay? I mean, I'm saying this in my head, you know, and I just feel like if she hadn't had all of this self-doubt and all the demons that she carried with her, she should have Elaine Page's career, because I've always thought that she could play any role that Elaine Page played, but not vice versa.
And that's the thing. It was almost like her living in that shadow. Because I remember, like I said, we were in a dressing room, and the thing is, she said to me, "Oh, it was so unpopular." I said, "Cause you act like a fucking bitch," and she. The tears, I go like, Ray, what did you say that? I put my arms around her because I didn't mean to make her cry, and then I realized that what she was playing was her own insecurities. You know, because she had all that because that costume thing affected her. That, you know, affected her really, really. She didn't want to show her legs like that, you know. And it wasn't until they gave her the tutu thing that she felt, you know, she felt covered. She felt exposed in those leggings.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, I totally. I mean, that's an unforgiving costume. If you have like an ounce of fat on you. You know, and she was older than. You know, a lot of the other girls in the show. You know, so I she was a wonderful person, and I treasure you know, all of my memories with her, even the bad ones, and there were some bad ones, but you know, my eldest daughter her name is Stephanie Francis.
Yeah.
So that's
wow.
who she was named after. She was named after Steph and after Francis. So, you know, they both meant an awful lot to me. And it was, my friendship with Steph was solidified during Starlight. And that was where I met Francis. So, and Ray. And so that's why it has a really special place in my heart.
Look at me, a woman, calm and in control. No silly girl whose head's always turning. Nobody would guess that deep inside my soul, a brand new flame is burning. Only he has the power to move me, and together we'll make the whole world move. I couldn't see before.
Actually the legacy that Starlight has, because for instance, I think we've all been left with injuries from Starlight for reasons and what have you. My left knee is absolutely mush, And a little while ago, I went to the hospital, MRIs, blah, 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 blah. And as you say, you know, Starlight has this, I don't know, this wonderful legacy that I don't think many shows have. And I went in to see the consultant, and he's looking at my notes, and he said, you're not my average. And I said, excuse me? And he said, well, you've done some strange things in your time. Yeah. He said, my dad came over from Dubai to see you. I said, oh, great. Can we have a selfie? So there we were in the consulting room. I said, look, you know, there are people in the show that were born when I did Starlight Express. He said, no, but blah, blah, blah. And this guy was in his 30s, you know. So there we were in the consulting room on the bed with my leg up in the air, having a selfie. So it does have a lovely legacy. My leg still goes up around my ear.
Carole, I have no doubt it does, darling.
Guys, if I wasn't wearing shorts and socks, I'd show you.
Guys, before we wrap things up, I was just going to say to all of you, what are your fondest and funniest memories of the show? Your own personal funny moments, or your fondest memory that will always stay with you? To anybody.
The camaraderie, I think, from London was extraordinary. And with, you know, the rise of social media, we're all back in touch and everything, which is absolutely phenomenal. But for me, the camaraderie of London was absolutely amazing, because it was the first time anything like that had been done. Everybody was, you know, putting their lives on the line almost, health-wise and, you know, performance-wise, everything. So the camaraderie for London was very special. I think the highlight for me was Eleanor Bertram skating around the set naked.
Absolutely. I was going to say that. It's amazing.
Well, I can tell people this now that nobody can say anything to me, but in the second year of Rusty, you know, I played him so many different ways, playing him as Batman, you know, just play, you know what I mean? Doing games with yourself just to keep it fresh.
Yes.
So, one afternoon, me and Danny Jan Jews went somewhere and had a little bit of medicine, and came back on the stage. I could not stop laughing. Papa came up to me and said, "Rusty," and I just burst out laughing. I mean, and I was just going, "Oh, look at the colors," because you know, the colors were just, oh my God, the colors. I was stoned out of my head. I mean, it's like, because I was so bored. It was, you know, after 2 years, I was like, you know, I wanted to try something, and it was Danny's fault. It was not mine. It was Danny's.
It was your fault.
It was Danny's fault, but I had.
We were all together. We were all together for the Apollo Victoria's 80th birthday, and we all went. Well, a lot of us went back. Fran went back. Danny went back, and we did the Mega Mix. But we had to do it at the Apollo Victoria when Wicked was on. So we had to do the Mega Mix on a rake.
Oh no. Oh no. You are kidding me.
This huge entrance, you know, and I was first on. Yes, nailed it. As these guys have come on, about 3 just kept going.
No.
Wonderful. So, you know, the camaraderie for Starlight was great. But when we all went, I think it was about 5, 6 years ago. Went back for the 80th anniversary of the Apollo. And all the shows.
I should have been there for that.
Yeah, it was fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must have been part of that.
I just remember Starlight as 2 stone ago.
I thought you said something else there for a moment. Like Carole, what?
Carole. Nancy, do you have a memory that you could share with us, a funny or a fond memory at all?
Well, I agree with Carol. I think we were just created something so unique and special. I remember we used to always joke that maybe next show Andrew Lloyd Webber would do would be like underwater or something like that. So I remember that. But I think what was so extraordinary is that I don't know. I think we were all taken aback that it was just such a hit that we had stars. We had Dustin Hoffman. We had Christopher Reeves. We had.
Minnelli.
Chita Rivera.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the list went.
Liza Minnelli.
Yeah.
We had Tony. Oh my gosh, I can't even think right now.
Bobby from Dallas.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
We just had so
Mum was
many.
meeting Yaphet Kotto.
Diana Ross.
I know. Yeah.
That's right, Diana Ross.
I have to say, I
Oh my
remember pushing.
God.
I had an entrance from prompt side, and remember pushing Michael off the stairs because he was sitting on the steps. Like, off you go. So that was my claim to fame. That I'd actually pushed the maestro off the.
Oh, do you guys remember the midnight matinee that you did? And Cliff Richard was there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
He wanted to do Starlight actually.
Yeah, he wanted to be Greaseball.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Who was that?
Cliff Richard.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's why he did that thing Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember that? Yeah, that didn't last long though.
Boring.
No.
I think it was like 2 years.
It cost us millions, but
Fan. He was a huge fan, Cliff Richard.
Yeah, he was. He came several times.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Rock Hudson came. Do you remember Rock Hudson was there?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah, Rock Hudson was there.
Barry Manilow.
And Bancroft.
That's a kid.
And,
oh my goodness.
I mean, the list just went on. It was extraordinary. And they don't come backstage to use the loo.
Right.
Hey, Koffi.
And
Koffi,
it
can you
wasn't renovated.
remember? Koffi, can you remember when it was a friend of Lon's there? He was an old guy. He actually wrote a whole lot of shaking going on. His name was David, and he hung around the theatre for like a week. Remember meeting him, and he was on the bridge when we all had a picture taken and everything. I had to write his postcards home to his family.
I think, there was something like that. Oh my God.
And like Lon knew everybody. Lon knew everybody. In fact, I met James Baldwin through Lon. Lon brought James.
I met Eartha Kitt and Yaphet Kotto. Yaphet Kotto, he was amazing. He just came with like
Yaphet
a
Kotto,
black suit jacket on. He just had light blue jeans and big black overlanding boots and a big white and silver ring.
But before we go,
it's really funny because I know Lon
sat. Do you remember?
Sorry?
Do you remember the security when Michael Jackson came? Because he came.
He came at least twice.
Yeah, security was crazy.
Yeah.
Just before we go.
Except that one time though. Except that one time when we were about to go on, and I heard this rumor. Oh, Michael Jackson is outside and he wants to come and see the show. And I said, don't be ridiculous. We're about to go on. I think we have a 5-minute curtain call. We're about to go on. So I thought, I'm going to nip upstairs. I've got my opening outfit on. I've got the helmet on and everything. And I'm running up the stairs towards the stage door, see if I can see Michael Jackson, see if it was true. And somebody comes down the stairs and bumps me in the shoulder. And I'm like, and as I turn around, it's Michael Jackson running down the stairs. And I thought, where the hell is he going to go? He doesn't know the theatre. So I'm running after him in my opening costume, and he dives into the toilet. And I'm like, that's the last place he wants to be in this old theatre. Then all these security guards, they come down, where's Michael? Where's Michael? He's gone into the toilet. So we went in there, they were all around the toilets, and we were like all ready to go on. And gradually came out, and that's when the pictures were taken. And those are the pictures that we see backstage. He just come out of the toilets. And of course, the show was late because we were waiting for him to take his seat. It was just absolutely mayhem. Brilliant, though. I mean, those days.
Can I just say to everybody, if the really useful companies trying to find Lon Satton's family, they emailed me this week. If anybody finds out where any of his family is, please let me know so I can let them know.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
The sweetest thing about when Michael came, Long called his wife and said, MJ's coming, MJ's coming. And I think I spoke to my mom and I said, Mom, Michael Jackson's coming. And she's like, isn't that coffee-coloured person who's sometimes on the radio?
Oh, wow.
I thought that was so sweet. It stayed with me for years.
Brilliant.
Koffi, do you have a precious memory or a funny moment that you can probably share with us? Well, that would have been
it with Michael, I think.
With Michael, yeah. It's hard to top that one, really,
It's
isn't
hard
it?
to top that one. It's been running up the stairs and excuse me, I'm trying to find Michael. There he is.
That security guard looked like Oddjob from one of the Bond movies, like he was going to throw his hat across the room.
Right, yeah.
Put
I
your
mean, he
head
had
off,
some
he was
scary
really
bouncers with him.
Mm-hmm.
Security.
And Thingy Bobs was with him as well. What's the producer's name? Help me.
Quincy
Who did-
Jones?
Quincy Jones.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. I mean, that truly amazing. And he came back after the show and went up in the lift. And of course, we were all waiting. We didn't want to go to our dressing rooms. We were waiting for Michael to come back. And there was this great big crowd of people around him again. And I just remember seeing him going into the lift and his bodyguards outside of the lift. And Quincy Jones, I think, was in with him. But Michael looked so scared and vulnerable. It was actually quite sad because I didn't want all this attention. I just wanted to see a show. But, you know, everybody loved him and wanted to be around him.
Everybody thought he was going to go to the Palace Suite and be drinking champagne, but he just had his ice cream with the little boy, remember?
Oh, wasn't that the little boy that was with him was, what's his name?
Macaulay Culkin.
The blonde, that's right.
Yeah.
Was that who it was? Maybe.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, But he just looked so vulnerable. He was like a little kid, and I just felt, oh, let's leave him alone. I actually wanted to shoo everyone away. Just let him go up now.
Yeah.
Just leave him alone.
You
know, he
guys
wants his
being
peace
so
and quiet.
young, you're all so professional.
Oh, boss.
I know. Oh gosh. But yeah, wonderful memories. Wonderful memories.
It's like
Wow.
being back with you guys. It's just like being in this. We've never been away from each other.
Right? It just seems kind of fresh, doesn't it, really?
It's
weird.
I thank you very much for it's so great to see everybody. I don't know if we're going to, I'm going to have to go in a minute, but this is just such a fabulous reunion. And
Absolutely.
oh my goodness, I wish we could do it again,
I know. Yeah.
Well, 2 years time, it's Starlight's 40th anniversary, so maybe we can get you all together again then, and hopefully a few more cast members we can persuade to join us. But can you believe it? We've actually been talking for 2.5 hours.
No.
It's flown by.
John,
That went by quick, didn't it?
John, if we're allowed to come again, I'd like a facelift before I get there.
And you look amazing.
Oh, behave.
Can I just say one thing, Carole? When I saw you just now in the group, I didn't know who you were, darling. I didn't recognise. I thought, who's that young chick over there? She looks rather dishy. I didn't realise it was you.
Get out of town.
I swear.
Nothing changes.
You look amazing.
Ray has his hat.
Says Peter Pan.
He's got his tip for.
I'm going to put my head on too.
Oh, look, Ray's got his hat too. All I can say to you all and everybody in the audience out there is thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute blast and an absolute honor as well to have you with us. It's been so much fun, and on behalf of myself, John, Jackie in particular, I have to say thank you for helping us. She really pulled the stops out and in getting in contact with you, as well as other people, behind the scenes. It's been amazing, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And hopefully we'll get to do this again soon.
Please send the pictures.
We're going to send you guys a link to that folder so you'll be able to get all the pictures.
Okay.
And buy my books. Go buy my books. Buy the books.
Jackie, I'll send you some more photos.
Please.
Sorry?
I'll send you some more photos.
Oh, yes, please.
I can't wait to see them either. too.
I have some of you
Bless you
I will
all.
never share.
You will
Sorry?
now, though.
I said I have some of you that I would never ever share.
Thank you guys
for
so
that,
much
Carole.
for
I owe
organizing.
you.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for organizing this.
Thank you.
You guys for
welcome.
coming.
It's been a blessing.
Pleasure's been ours.
Thank you for asking us.
Take care. Yes, thank you very
Lovely
much.
guys.
It's been a pleasure.
Lovely
And great
party.
seeing all you guys.
Love you
Yes,
all.
all
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, you hang up. You hang up.
No, you hang up.
Okay, I'm gonna end this.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Diesel is for unbelievers. Electricity is wrong. Steam has got the power that will pull us along. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. The inside might be as black as the night, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Sing it, children. The inside might be as black as the night, but at the end of the tunnel there's a light. It's the power of James Watt, the steaming sky. The man who watched the pot and said, hey, I've got a brilliant plot. When the steam is hot, seems to make a lot of power. It could turn a wheel. That's power. It could drive it down a track. Lickety clack, lickety clack. It could drive it with a beat. With enough left over for a woo. We saw the light at the end of the tunnel. We saw the light at the end of the tunnel. Thanks, James Watt, for watching that pot. He saw the light. Yes, he saw the light. The inside might be as black as the night, but at the end of the tunnel there's a light. There are dark days ahead when the power goes dead, when the oil runs dry. What can we try? We can use some light, but it don't shine at night. Soon the pistons will be humming, steam will have a second coming. We see the light. Ooh, yeah, we see the light. Whoa. So dig a hole and haul out the coal. We see the light. Yes, we see the light.
Hi folks, I hope you all enjoyed watching that just as much as we did taking part in it. If I could ask you all a favour, if you enjoyed the video, if you could give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, it would be greatly appreciated. I hope to see you all again soon at our next video recording. Bye for now.